put this time in your calendar, okay? This is a call that you want to make sure that you have on your calendar every single Saturday morning. For me, it's 9 Eastern time, but I know for those of you in Central Time Zone, it's 8. In California, I believe it is 6. So definitely go ahead and block that time out in your calendar, because this is where you're really going to get the tools, additional nuggets, wisdom, guidance, and also stories and testimonies from other people in the business about successful things that they're doing, to be able to have results, about aha moments that they had, that they've been able to reflect upon from this week. You're going to get tools and guidance and wisdom and updates, everything that you really need to be able to grow and um, increase your business, your bank account, everything like that. Sorry, I want to make sure I got all my ringtones off from all my I turned one off, but I didn't turn the other one off. So excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. So go ahead and do the same. Make sure you've got yourself in a quiet place, and make sure you have your pens and notepads ready. You don't have anything keeping you from the information that's going to be shared. Make sure that you don't have anything distracting you. I strongly recommend that you have, again, your notepad, your pens available, your iPad, if that's how you take notes. But go ahead and make sure you're focused and intentional on the line this morning. Make sure you've got your coffee, your tea, your water, whatever you need. I know I usually have 2 or 3 drinks going on at one time. I've got water, I've got coffee. Sometimes I also have tea or a protein shake. So whatever you need to help yourself stay focused and intentional on the call, definitely go ahead and do that. If you're in position to be on camera, we would absolutely love to see your faces. If not, go ahead and hit that mute feature on your camera. And no worries. Just if you can only just listen in today, we absolutely understand that. But go ahead and make sure you're ready for that. Go ahead if you haven't already done so, and hit the mute feature on your audio as well, because we don't want to have any background noise or distractions. So unless you've been asked to come off mute, please keep your line muted. Again, I'm super excited to be here with you guys this morning, live and on camera. If you're just now jumping onto the call, go ahead and jump into the chat and let me know your name and where you are chiming in from today as well. And also, as you see, Miss Carla Wynn has done, she has raised her hand to get in the queue to share her reflection for the week. So if you have one of those already, if you know you want to share, go ahead and raise your hand as well, so that way you can get into the queue for that also. We're going to get started in another moment or two. So again, just make sure that you are doing everything you need to do, reaching out, sending out those text messages, tagging people on Facebook. And I would encourage you guys, I personally, in my opinion, the Facebook chat on the calls does not get utilized enough. Ladies and gentlemen, I love seeing the notes here on Zoom when we're live. But once the Zoom is over, those notes, those nuggets, those takeaways, that excitement, that fire, it all goes away as well. On the Facebook Live, when you're leaving your comments there, as people are going back and re-watching those videos, re-watching those trainings, they're seeing your takeaways. They're seeing your nuggets, your aha moments. They're seeing your excitement, your enthusiasm, your fire. So I would encourage you to leave your comments there as well. I'm not saying don't get on the Zoom, right? Because we want to be able to see you and have those interactions, but share those comments, share those chime ins on the Facebook chat. I know a lot of times some people will be on both, so that way they can leave the notes on Facebook, but they're on live on the Zoom. I'm like, wait a minute, it's early yet. I'm like, my brain is still like connecting the dots, right?
Good morning, Carly. Jim Meadows, Denver, Colorado.
Welcome to the line this morning. Good morning. And I see we have Jessica chiming in this morning. Good morning. MJ chiming in from Maryland. Good morning. Sending all my prayers to my fellow St. Louisans. I don't live in St. Louis anymore, but I saw they got hit with some major storms. So I'm praying that everyone is okay. And that they get all the storm, everything cleared away as soon as possible. And I know they got hit pretty bad. So sending all my prayers to my fellow St. Louisans. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now jumping on the call, welcome, 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 and good morning to you, wherever you are chiming in from. Go ahead and drop your name and where you're chiming in from in the chat so I can welcome you to the call this morning. My name is Carly Gwynn. I am chiming in this morning from Orlando, Florida. Super excited to be on the call. And also, if you have reflections, as you can see, Carla and MJ have already put themselves in the queue. Laura has already put herself in the queue to share their reflections. So definitely go ahead. And if you already know you have a reflection to share, go ahead and raise your hand. So that way you can be in the queue and ready to go. Let's see who we have joining us on the line. I see we have Dale Boudreaux chiming in from Louisiana. Welcome to the line this morning. Freddie in San Antonio. We have Thomas in Silver Springs, Maryland. Thank you. I love I love this background as well. I would love to. I know sometimes people think I'm in Florida, so I'm at the beach, but literally I'm in Orlando, so I'm central. So I would love to be at my background as well. Oh,
Oh,
we
sorry,
have.
it's Philip from Jacksonville. I'm actually driving, so I can't put it in the chat, but it's Jacksonville.
That's okay. Welcome to the line this morning, Philip. Jeremy from Festus, welcome to the line this morning. Hope you guys were cleared and didn't get hit with the storm. Again, if you are in the St. Louis area, send in my thoughts and prayers to you guys. I know St. Louis got hit pretty bad with tornadoes last night or yesterday. So sending you guys my prayers and my thoughts. Welcome to the line this morning. Laura from South Kakalaki. Like, Laura, wait a minute, you're throwing me this morning. I'm like, wait, South what? And I've seen you post that before, but South Carolina, for those of you guys that don't know, maybe it's your first time on the call, welcome. Sabrina chiming in from Houston, welcome to the call this morning. And yes, sending prayers to St. Louis for healing and restoration. Let's see here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have like literally moments before we get started. So definitely go ahead if you haven't already done so. Put your name and where you're chiming in from in the chat. Go ahead and again, make sure you have everybody on the line. This is a call that you want to definitely prioritize in your calendar. You want to block out this time and set this time aside for your personal growth, for your business, for your bank account, because this is where you're really going to get that slight edge right above everybody else, because you're hearing and learning people's stories, their testimonies. You're seeing and learning new techniques and things to do in the business, to grow your business, to grow your bank account. So you definitely want to make sure that you don't miss this call and that you're edifying this call and sharing it with everyone on your team to make sure that they're on this call each and every single week, even if they have to listen it, even if they work on Saturdays and they have to go back and listen to the replay, which obviously is best if you can jump on live. But guys, make sure you're putting that time in on your calendar so that way they don't miss it and you don't miss it, right? Because when you miss these calls and you unplug yourself from the system, you really start to lose in the business, right? Because you don't realize how much money you're costing yourself, but it compounds over time. Okay, so the time has come. Well, let me say, Leroy, welcome to the call from St. Louis. And the big bad wolf didn't blow you away yesterday. I love it. I love it, and I'm glad to hear that. But ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for me to step out of the way of greatness. The gentleman that I have the honor and privilege of introducing to you this morning, he is a family man. He's a military veteran, and he has been a successful entrepreneur for the past 25 years. He has earned millions of dollars in not one, not two, but three different industries, and he has come out of retirement because this is the fourth industry that he is going to earn millions of dollars in. But not only has he done pretty well for himself, but more importantly, he's always done what's best for his people and helped them to be successful and make money and achieve their goals and dreams as well. He has a goal to help 10,000 families generate $5,000 per month in residual recurring income over the next 2 to 5 years. But what I love most about him is he's the definition of integrity and character. He's one of the only people that's ever been and done every single thing that he ever committed to me that he would be or do. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give me some fire, give me some hearts, give me some love in the chat. Please help me welcome to the line this morning someone I'm honored to call my coach, my mentor, and my friend, the VP of sales himself, the people's champ, the GOAT, Mr. Sam Bean.
You know what? You need Michael Buffer's job. You're underpaid. I promise you. No, they underpaid. I'm getting ready to fight. Put the boxing gloves on. You got me all hype and crunk. Like I'm ready for you. Only thing you didn't say is, "Let's get ready to rumble." I'm ready. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Like Carly says, get yourself something to drink. You know what I'm saying? Like she has coffee, water, and tea. You know what I mean? There you go. There you go. And for my Californians, good morning, early morning for y'all. I know it's 6 o'clock a.m. And this is what we do every Saturday morning, right? And so, again, we always have a lot of Californians on here as well. And so, just giving you guys something to wake up for a little bit earlier, start your day a little bit earlier, and a little bit more on purpose. And for the rest of you guys, hey, we got a chance to sleep in a little bit later, right? But it's going to be a great day today. I'm excited about what's going on in the company, and but I'm excited about what's going on in your businesses, and definitely want to say to like Carla said, man, my heart goes out to my people in St. Louis. I actually had a couple of people who lost everything and they got direct hits by the tornadoes. So things actually happened, and I saw some videos where nothing was there, like nothing. So places where houses used to be. So again, if you know anybody from St. Louis, let them know you're thinking about them, send them some prayers and some well wishes. They need it. Okay, so then you have the reflections. Obviously, the week that was, and definitely want to always get with you guys and hear what's going on in your businesses. What are you you're learning that you actually are taking advantage of and using for the good, of your business and of your life. So we'll do that for starters as we always do, and then we'll go into the training. And as always, guys, we like to keep those reflections between 30 seconds to a minute so we can make sure we are mindful of the day because we get a couple of y'all going. Next thing you know, the training's over with reflections. So we want to make sure we get in and get out. So we'll start with the usual suspects. Starting with Mrs. Carla Wynn. Go ahead and let us know what you got going on, Carla.
Great morning, and thank you for the platform, Mr. Bean, and thank you for allowing me to share, and thank you, Carly Gwen, for being my almost named twin and hosting. This week's reflections are around the role play. I had the blessing and opportunity to role play with Ms. Angel Trent and also Mr. Dale Boudreau and Donna Cutelli with the three-way calls, which is something an area of growth for me. So that's one. And then secondly, the honor of hosting, of being invited to introduce the Tuesday Business Showcase. So those are two reflections that I have to share, and I thank you for for trusting me to do that. Thank you so much.
Yes, role playing, guys. That's we don't have enough of that going on, and you have people who are communicating with their prospects without practicing, and that's a dangerous thing. It's like you're role playing with your actual customers. You're practicing on your actual customers, and so get the reps in. Get all the kinks out. Go ahead and work on and like I said, we do it once a week, once every other week with Angel, but you honestly should be doing it on a regular basis. When I say on a regular basis, you need to be like if you're a vocalist, right? You warm up your voice, you warm up your vocals, right? And you practice before you hit the stage, right? If you are a salesperson, you warm up your closings, your trial closings, you warm up your introductions, you warm up whatever it is that you're about to do, you go through those motions. It's almost like stretching. And if you're not stretching every day and you're working out every day, right, that means that you're not getting the full benefit. You can actually hurt yourself. And so, not role playing on a regular basis. Grant Cardone's, there are people who role play every morning. That's why they're like machines. That's why you can't get by them. They're going to get your money, right? Period. And so ain't nothing you can do about it. You know what they're doing, and they're gonna get the money because they get the business. And see, some of us are we're hobbyists, and since this is not what we do for a living, right? We are very, very casual with the way we build our businesses. And so if you're casual, people who build casually will become a casualty, right? And you're gonna lose, right? You're gonna lose. So role play, guys. Find role play with your team members. Role play with the big group. Role play, but find a way to role play every day, even if you're just going over your stuff by yourself and you don't have anybody to role play with. Just read it out loud and over like 10, 15 minutes of just reading it out loud, going over it, reading out loud, going over it, whatever it is. Get those vocals, those tracks, down to your spirit. Right. You never know when they'll come out to help you. All right. So definitely appreciate that. And you always anytime you get a chance to have, like I said, an honor of hosting guys, you're serving the platform, right? You're serving the big team. And that's not just honor, that's a great responsibility, probably the most important, because you're the person that they hear from first, right? You're the one that gets to set the tone. You're the one that gets to tell everybody why they need to listen to the person who is actually about to speak and present. Right. So you are the one that's about to do the handoff. It's kind of like the quarterback and the running back. If you're a quarterback and it's a running play, you got to make sure the ball gets into that bread basket, in that comfortable sweet spot for the running back to grab that ball and do damage. Right. The speaker can't do damage if they have to dig themselves out of a hole. Right. So your energy it has to be up. Your impact has to be up. Your directions and instructions have to be up. Your edification has to be tight. And now the person who is coming to speak on the microphone, they can now go to work. They can just walk on in, glide on in based on how you made them, appear to the audience and go to work for you. So nice topics to get us started. Appreciate it, caller. MJ.
Great morning, team. It's been a minute since I said anything, but so today, today I got something to say. So I am thankful to be able to speak on this platform with my team members and the Build family. I do want to say, total transparency. If you haven't checked out the back office, there is an AI objection segment at which I failed miserably at, and will have to go back and do it again. But it was interesting to use the AI tool in the back office to learn how to work with objections. Secondly, I'd like to announce I have my second builder who upgraded from affiliate this week. His name is Corey. He's on the line, and he is an aspiring young man, and I'm glad to have him on my team. We're gonna get him into every training we possibly can and help him grow. I told him he's in the business, um, not by himself, but it is his business, so he has to be mindful of that. And I just am now dual team qualified. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Dual team qualified. That means you got and you got two more to go ahead and get that $99 up out of here about your life, right? And that's what we're gonna work on before we're working on Builder 500. Now, the AI objection thing, guys, I'm gonna tell you one thing about AI is it has no emotions, it has no feelings. It's not gonna let you make it. It's gonna tell you exactly what it's programmed to tell you, that you need work, you got better, you're doing great, you suck, whatever it is, it's gonna tell you. It's gonna tell you 100%. And so continue to work out on it. Find a way to get those repetitions in. I'm telling you, some people like free weights, some people like the weights that, like I said, it's like not free weights, basically, machine weights. And so it's just use that. You know what I'm saying? Role play with human beings, role play with AI. Like I said, get the work in. You know what I'm saying? Proud of proud of that. Well, I want to definitely say welcome to Corey. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the team, welcome to the family. And this is a nice, safe place. Every week we come here every Saturday morning and we get it in. Good training, good connections, good vibes. And we'll go out there and do some good damage after it's over with. So welcome to the family. All right. Laura Johnson. Laura from the block.
Great morning, Crash Camp team and family. So, in respect for time, I'm going to be as quick as I can. So, my wins this week was in service to this platform, in Mr. Bean's trust in me to train last Saturday, and then also my being able to present for the corporate platform on Tuesday. But the only reason I bring up those two things is because my goal, which is the company's goal, is to build people so that we can build a business. And I'm following exceptional pinnacle leadership, and I want to become exceptional pinnacle leadership. And so to do that, I have to lead from the front. So Mr. Bean called me less than 12 hours before that training to train. And, you know, a lot of times we are allow our fears to get in the way, and you want to say, oh, no, I got this reason why I can't do something. But I accepted the challenge so that the people that are in my team can see me doing the things that are required so that we can be successful. And it's working because Mr. Bean always tells us you got to know your numbers to grow your numbers. So my numbers are, today we have 27 people on the call, and I have 25% of that on my team. I'm going to work on getting that 25% to all have their cameras on. But 25% of these 27 people are on my team and on the training, and they're learning the right way. And both Carla and MJ, who have had these successes this week, are in my family. And so I'm really excited for the effort that it takes to do what's required, because even sometimes when it's not happening for you personally, it's happening in your team. So thank you for allowing me to share, Mr. Bean. Thank you for this platform, and thank you for being the pinnacle leader that you are.
Yes. You know, good stuff. That's matter of fact. You gotta, I guess, fight to get to the microphone. You know, so and that's one of the things that you look at the person who has the microphone has control. The person who has the microphone has the audience. The person who has the microphone has the power. You know, and that's good and bad. Right. And so again, when you're on there speaking, you're on there presenting. One is because you trust it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody trusts you enough to actually get on there and serve their actual team. And, you know, for me, you know, putting you guys in front of the room, a lot of people will ask. I even have people who say, man, you just go ahead, you know, just put me in a position. I had somebody tell me years ago, put me in a position and I'll come in. I'm a great trainer and I'll come in and train you. I don't need you training my team. Are you moving? You know, so you the one, you trying to find a new home for a reason. Right now, we good. Don't need you coming in here, you know, thinking you're a specialist and me giving you power to and access to my team, and all of a sudden you move again, and now you move away with my team. We're not going to do that, all right? But that's why with that microphone comes responsibility, all right? And so we feel like a person is responsible enough. We'll and they're out there in the field. That's another thing. You got to be out there in the field building. You got to be out there in the field presenting. You're not just somebody who's a great speaker and orator that we're gonna put in front of the room and say, "Man, she's amazing. She's awesome. He's great.
froze
He's
up, Tim.
fantastic." And can you guys hear me? Okay. All right. All right. So it might be yours, Jim. So now when you look at that though, you want to make, again, it's about you understanding that you represent the company and the team. And that leader already knows that. So like I said, I'm not gonna put anybody in front of the room to just fill the gap or put somebody up there to present because I want somebody different or I don't want to do it. No. We put people in front of the audiences on purpose. Like I'm not, or Laura, I know Laura's not gonna get up there and do her own thing. That's why when she did the 6 steps to success, I made sure she did it because I knew for a fact her personality type won't allow her to do anything outside the box, right? And so she would have to have an ego override or something like that. had to get the feeling good to her or something. I don't know, but I know her personality type, her being green and analytical, she's gonna get up there and knock that thing out, right? And so that's why when you are coaching guys and you have people on your and your team, you have different people, you know, and that's going to run different plays. You got to know what type of like in the Super Bowl. Give me an example. When you look at the running back for the Eagles, he the whole year he was a guy in the Super Bowl, the most important game of the season. He wasn't, right. It was everybody else around him, but he got a ring. Right. And so the coach got a ring too because coach put everybody in position. Right. And so everybody played their role. Everybody here has at some point in time plays their role. Even Chris, you know, Chris hit me up last night. I was feeling pretty good. Had a couple drinks. I was entertaining some people. And I sent out a text about the presentation for the day at 12 o'clock. So I thought it was a day at 12 o'clock. Chris hit me up and said, hey, you know, was that for tomorrow or was that for June? So Chris being Chris looked me up because I had to pull it down and put it back up. But as everybody's got a role. But the coach, when the coach puts you in and calls your number, you know, you got to do your thing. Or you might not get off the bench again, for a while. Might take you a while. Get in rotation, fight to get in the rotation, and fight to stay in the rotation. That's one thing about us. We always had a healthy competition, in the leadership crew that I grew up in. For over the last, the first 15 years of my 19-year tenure with my mentor, we had clashes to get to the stage. Like we wanted to be the presenters, we wanted to be the trainers because we knew what it meant to everybody on our team, to be highlighted by the leader, highlighted by the company, and to be endorsed. And so now, when you are endorsed, you're out there, you're speaking in front of everybody, and you have guests coming to each and every event because we had guests coming to trainings, we had guests coming to presentations, and if you were training, that was the ultimate endorsement. Right? That was the thing. They got a chance to see you serve the masses. And when people see that, they actually believe in you a whole lot more than they do if somebody else was actually doing the presentation. So, anytime you get a chance to serve, knock it out. Market shared events. See, this is the thing. You can tell Laura's been with us for a while. She's already did the math. She's already counted it up, and she's growing these numbers every week, right? Every week she's growing these numbers. Her market share is 25% of the call, right? Which means that she's got anywhere from 7 to 8 people on this call. Anywhere from 7 to 8 people on the call, and 29 people on Zoom. So when it becomes 290 people on Zoom, guess what? She's gonna have 75, 80 people on the call. And everybody else will be fighting for the rest. Everybody else will be like, okay, I got 20, I got 15, I got 2, I got me, I got 35, whatever it is. You want to make sure that you're growing your market share on the major events. This event and the Millionaire Mentorship calls, those are the two calls that, regardless of anything that's going on, you should always have your team on and always have your team growing the numbers on those markets, because these are the ones that show people that they're doing business with real people, right? And this is also the one where people get their connections, get their training, they get their, they get a chance to get that good home cooking, right? And then on Millionaire Mentorship Call, they get that 7-figure mindset and that they need as well. It helps them continue to recalibrate their brain to where they're going from 100 to 1,000 going from 1,000 to a millionaire, and that can't happen on a 100 call. That can't happen on when you're not on calls at all. So that Millionaire Mentorship Call, like for me, I make those two calls. For me, if I'm in your position, mandatory for myself. All right, that's it. And so that's happening. But also, like she said, guys, you're not going to always, as great as you're going to be, you're not going to always be the hottest person on your team. Okay? And so when you find that, you are really solid, you really do have a nice sized team, and you have some other people who are on your team that are going, then you hit your wagon to a star, even if that star is in your success team. You ride that person and say, you know what, let's get in here. And if you wasn't a part of that person's, momentum, right? Don't get in there and mess it up. Don't get in there and tinker with it and be like, okay, now I'm gonna take over. I'm gonna get you to the next level. No, you didn't get them to that level, right? What you do is you celebrate them. You encourage them to keep on doing whatever it is that they were doing. Like sometimes you might have a like Corey, like matter of fact, MJ. I'll give you an example. MJ brought Corey in, right? And if Corey is working with Laura, I want to make sure I put this in context. If MJ is going about her life, she's doing her thing, and she knows she's got a leader in Laura, and Laura gets gets Corey to build a 500. That's not when MJ comes and say, "Hey, man, you did a great job. I'm gonna take it from here." No, no, you did no, you don't get to do that, right? What happens is now you're going to take his business and destroy it, right? So what you do is you continue to encourage him, you continue to celebrate him, you continue to endorse him, and any chance you get for anybody that's on his team, you get a chance to make sure you tell them how great he's doing and how they should follow him, right? And so and Laura, again, she's working with Corey. Now Corey's growing to the top. And so now that energy, that momentum, she's working at a part of her business that, okay, I get this asset, I get to develop this asset over here. And then while I'm over here recruiting new people, I have a leg of business over here that I continue to, grow because I have influence in it. I have impact in it. I have service in it. And, so now I have loyalty in it. So now, you know, boom, we're running. And so, and now she's looking for the next person at the same time. So while she's working with Corey, she's looking for somebody else, direct or indirect, down in depth, until she sponsors somebody else that's ready to rock and roll. Okay. So that's good stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's the way you really want to take a look at it, because at some point in time, guys, again, momentum goes up, momentum goes down. Right? Energy goes up, energy goes down. Volume, goes up when it comes to recruiting numbers, and volumes go down. So you always and forever looking for access points, in your group, in your genealogy, that you can go and have um, an impact. So if I go down and I say, hey, Dr. Felicia, see you're brand new, see you just put 2 or 3 people in. How would you like to work with me directly? If she's not working with anybody, how would you like to work with me directly? And let's see if we can get a call for you. Let's see if we can do some 3-ways and lifelines for you. Let's see if we can throw some gasoline on that fire you get started. So, okay, sure, no problem. So, all right, so then we work up a game plan and we start running. And while I'm running with her, I'm paying attention. It's an audition for her. I'm paying attention to see what she's doing and see how she responds to having access to me. And if it's positive, we keep on going. If it's not, and she's not in a position, emotionally and mentally to work with me and continue to run with me, then I back off, right? And then I find another access point, right? And so you work with the ready, not the willing. You know what I'm saying? The willing is cool, but the ready, there's nothing like the ready. And so the willing is, hey, look, tell me what I gotta do, and I'll see if I can do it. Tell me what I gotta do, and I'll try to do it. People who you sign up, they're like, I'm gonna try my best, right? I'm if the willing's all I got, I work with the willing. But if the ready is available, I'm working with the ready, because the ready is going to make sure that the willing becomes ready. Because that willing person is going to sit there and watch me work with a Philip and say, hey, man, he killing it. Philip is killing it now. And so now I'm ready. I'm ready. Now you're knocking on my door saying I'm ready, not you know I'm hoping or I'm willing or I think I'll try. You ready to rock and roll, right? And so just a little context about the conversation. Jeremy Dennis.
Morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Thank you for the platform. Hope everybody has a good morning. I've had a good week. I have a good month. I brought 4 solar deals to the table this month.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
one, one. I well, let me start at the beginning when we first started. I couldn't do it in my area, but
mm-hmm,
I reached out to people, and they were interested then. And then now I can do it in my area. So I recontacted those people, said, hey, I can do it in your area now. And they gave me their bill and stuff. And we actually had a presentation with Idris the other day.
mm-hmm,
Um, and I think it's going to go through. I'm waiting for, but that's not the only thing, because if I get him, I'm going to get his brother, his sister, his other sister, his mom, dad. That's
mm,
coming in. And then he goes, hey, do you do commercial too? Because he's a mayor of a city, and he got a presentation, or he got a proposal from another company, and he put it down because he wasn't ready to, he was too busy to look at everything. But he said, I need you to give me your deal. That's $1.1 million. And just to give you guys numbers and think of what the possibilities are, I brought $9 million in deals to build. Even if one of them goes through, it's game changing. But just imagine if all 9 of them would have went through.
mm-hmm,
Put those numbers of what you can make. It's the money's endless here if you put it. And just to get you some more excitement, I talked about this, and I'm still working on them. And I'll say the restaurant chain that I've kind of been involved with, the guy I got involved in. I'm working with a guy that has access to every steak and shake in the United States.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I ain't playing. I'm not trying. I'm trying to build this thing to
You're building
make a
it.
difference.
You're building it.
Not mine.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
building. You're not trying it. No, you're not
Yeah, I'm
trying.
building it.
You're
Yeah.
not trying at all. Ain't nothing you doing trying because right now your background, when you look at landscaping and everything else you do, it wasn't solar, right? And so you went out there knocking on doors, talking to people about what you had your hands on, and now you got 4 solar deals on the table. You got deals pending. You got other doors that you got to go back and re-knock that you couldn't do business with, but now you can. Bro, this is about to be bananas for you. And then the commercial now the government is starting to open things up where Dan, those guys are now starting to be able to do deals again. The tariffs put a whole cog in the situation. They put a monkey wrench in the situation rather. Yeah, that's again that was out of your control. But now again, when things open back up, which they always do at some point, you get a chance to go back in there and finish what you started. So um, like you said, any parts of that 9 million, any parts of them deals come through, it's going to be a wrap. Plus, all it takes is one, to go ahead and start a resume. So when you can show people what you've done for other companies and what savings you put in their situation, what type of deals you got with grants and loans and whatever, and the genius of the guys and how they're turning some of these situations into um, things where they can make money and offset a lot as well, bro. That's going to be real big for you. It's going to be a killer for you. It's going to be killer for you. So congratulations, Jeremy.
I appreciate it. It's all because of you and Mrs. Bean and just being in this group. Watching people succeed and win. I mean,
Yep.
it just says if you stay plugged in and learn what you teach, everybody wins.
Yeah, if you stick and stay, you'll get your pay. That's just what it
That's
is.
right.
That's it. And hang around long enough. Say hashtag give me a minute. So
I'm gonna start making bumper stickers of everything you come up with.
hey, just give me a cut. That's just 10%.
Yeah,
That's it.
there you
Give me
go.
10%. There you go. All
All right,
right,
thank you, sir.
Boudreaux. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Del
Hey,
Boudreaux.
great morning, everybody. Hey, Jeremy, man, I appreciate you. That was awesome. So a while back, I did a training on scheduling, and I actually been applying that. So here's my win. So first of all, I got to host a presentation with Mr. Bean. That was on my hundreds list, and I really appreciate that, Mr. Bean. That was very, very awesome for me. And I was just jacked up when you put that schedule out. So I really appreciate that. Role play on Monday night with Miss Angel. Man, I tell you, I appreciate her so much, and the team that gets on there is just absolutely fabulous. If you just need to get the peanut butter out your mouth and get on there and do something, man, look, you're gonna learn something, right?
Right.
The leadership call. If you're not on a leadership call, you need to be fighting to get on a leadership call, because that leadership call Thursday night was absolutely awesome, because you always setting us up for what's about to come. And I've been with you long enough to understand that, so now I just do it, right? But that leadership call is awesome, man. I love it. And I had someone on my team put an electric bill in this week. And so they made a decision, Mr. Steve Drake and Leslie Drake, they put an electric bill in this week. They all fired up. And that scheduling has showed big holes in my schedule where I can do this business and do it fluently and consistently. So those are my wins for the week, Mr. Bean. And man, I just appreciate this platform and everybody on it.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, I talked about, like I said earlier, working out the kinks and everything. Like I said, I like the way you put it, get the peanut butter out your mouth when it comes to, conversations, because everybody knows what to say until they have to say it. You know what I'm saying? It's all fun and games until when you're supposed to be training, you're supposed to be practicing, you're supposed to be role playing, and all of a sudden somebody asks you what you do for a living, and all of a sudden you can't get your tongue off the roof of your mouth. Like, speak, say something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's huge. Again, can't say that enough. Repetition is the father of learning. So huge. And then, like I said, anytime you get access to leadership opportunities, guys, and you get a chance to have access to leadership calls, don't take those moments for granted. And especially if you're invited to them and you don't show up, next thing you know, you stop being invited, and you don't know what you don't know. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna share some with you. You know, when you actually have access to the leadership in the company, you actually have access to information. You have access to insight. You have the unfair advantage. That's one. Two, you have access to the leadership in the company, and and you can take your business to the next level. That means that you give yourself increase economically, all right? And you're absent from that, because of your ego or you don't feel like it's important enough, then what ends up happening is you lose money, right? Because if you're not learning, you're losing, right? You're going backwards. So at the end of the year, you're gonna get a 1099. The 1099 is gonna tell you how much money, right, you made. The one thing it won't tell you is how much money your ego cost you. You'll see how much money you made, but you won't see how much you left on the table. Okay. When you have a huge ego, yeah, the 1099 won't show you the damage that it did. Okay. But you'll look at that what you earned and be like, man, I could have did better. And you should have did better. And if you would have jumped on the calls and took advantage of everything we do, you would have been better. Right. And so let's make sure you understand that your 1099, it looks exactly the way your ego imagined it. And I said it slow enough so you can get it. Okay. So the 1099 guys, either you got a poor ego from a standpoint, a destructive ego where you feel like you know it all or you feel like you don't need it and it's going to cost you some money, or you got a healthy ego, it's a competitive ego. And you know what? It's you're going to be the best that you can be. You're going to be better than a whole lot of people in building, presenting, whatever it is, growing your group, selling your products, stuff like your services. So the ego going to show you, hey, we are the best, or we are the top five, or we are top 10 in the company, or whatever it is. Like ex Dr. Arlene and Sarah and Daniel, how they feel when they see their names on, the list when it comes to freedom and rankings and a contest. It's like, yeah, people who, offer solace, every day, well, not every day, every once in a while. Then when you think about that list, you think about everybody in solar and freedom's Rolodex, everybody who sells solar for freedom. And you're like, man, I can't compete with these people. Right? These people got all kind of experience. I'm not even a solar guy. I'm a real estate agent, and you all make these excuses and I do mortgages for a living. I do taxes for a living. Man, these guys gonna always win. No, we got a doctor who doctors for a living. You know what I'm saying? Her married band of two, Sarah and Dan, and they get on her nerves for a living. They whip her into shape. They stay on her row for a living. That's what they do for a living. They get paid real good for it, right? But they're at the top of the charts. The 1099 at the end of the year is gonna say, I'm a whole lot better than I was last year, and I'm a whole lot better than a lot of people was this year. That's one thing I can say about that 1099 that they got coming. So be present. Like I said, earn access to leadership and stay, in a position. Think about it for this position. If you're in a group of groups, right? And when I came in the company, I came in, I worked, I grinded, didn't ask for anything at all. Took the position that I fell to because I wanted to make sure the person who recruited me got the credit that she was supposed to. I'm not one of those guys who say, put me in a position at the top of the company. I want to override everything, everybody. I don't care who it hurts financially. That's how people normally do it. Well, came in and grinded, worked, I had access to the leadership. Okay. And I made sure I used that access to the leadership. I made sure that they knew that they can trust me, they can rely on me. I made myself valuable to the company. Right. And so they didn't give me a position. I earned them. I earned the leadership development officer. I earned the percentage of the company that I owned. I earned the VP of sales position, but I earned it through the leadership that was in place. Right. And it's the same thing, guys. Earn access to leadership calls on this level so you can have access to the power on the next. Very, very important. Good stuff. All right. All right, Dale. Thanks. Leslie. And then we have Leslie, Jim, and then Dr. Arlene, and then we'll jump into the training.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. On the road again. But anyway, I tried to set my camera on this phone, but it won't let me. So
You just worry
it was
about driving.
yeah, okay, thank you. I went for the week. Amy Swap and grateful for Ms. Angel Trend with the role play on Monday. Carla volunteered me, and Donna came in. She was a trooper, and then Mrs. Laura called me later during the week. She said, "Leslie, you did good." I said, "Oh, really?" She said, "I'm gonna go back and listen to the role play and listen to what Angel said to you. And work on improving that." I said, "Yes, I sure will." So happy, grateful for my senior business partner, Laura Johnson, doing an amazing, epic job herself. So also Mr. Idris, he gave me a call like last week saying, "Hey, Freedom, whatever will be at your homeowner's home on Monday, Tuesday this week." So I said, "Oh, wow." I went there and on Tuesday, because it rained on Monday, and went there and got a little brief testimony from the homeowner. It's just great to be a part of that moment. And thank Mr. Idris for all that he has done, and everyone. He allowed the ships to be.
Man, that's good stuff right there. As but one, it's just two things. The first thing she said, she was on, the Angels role playing call, right? Kudos for that because you're showing up. The other thing is that her leader was on there as well. So as a leader, if you're on those calls, one, you're leading by example. Two, you can see who's on your team, who's not participating, right? Even though all this stuff is voluntary, you still get a chance to take inventory, right? And so that's important. So Laura was able to say, you know what, instead of retraining, what Angel said and say, you know what, this is what we got to do now. She said, go back and listen to the resource. What I'm saying? That's important because guys, a lot of you don't have, the type of impact in your team that you need. Not because you don't deserve it, it's because you're too close to them. And so when you have a third party individual who's training your people and that they have respect for, and they know that you trust the material and they trust the material, then you send them back to that material, right? And so the way Laura used that resource, that third party resource, is exceptional, right? And so, and like I said, Laura, like that was very, very important. So being on the calls, one, again, it shows your team that you're getting better. It shows the team that you're growing, and you guys should be growing together, right? And two, you were there to give the advice to go back to Angel. Just like I'll tell you guys, go back to, Danny's training, go back to, Chris's training, or go back to JC's training, or go back to Pacheco's training, go back to the trainings of the people who go back to, the training that Sarah did, or the training that Doc did, or Aegis did, or that Dale did. Go back to the training, go back to the resource, go back, because that's a part of the system. And some of you guys want to be bigger than the system, right? Now, if you can handle it in one fell swoop, you got it, and you know for a fact that's your area of operation. That's you good at that, you great at that. That's what you go ahead and knock it out, right? If you got it, and you can teach it in the same spirit, right? If not, have them go back, which I suggest go back, listen to it first, so they can have a foundation on it. Then you can have a discussion on it, and you can have a conversation on it. And next thing you know, like Dale and I have conversations on a regular basis. And so every time we have a conversation, ideas come out of our conversations on both sides, right? And so I'm just telling you guys that's a very, very important thing. Being at the trainings that you qualify to go to, and making sure your team is there with you. Just like yesterday when JC did the compensation plan training, right? The coded leadership bonus, which is fantastic. That actually opened up, some new wrinkles and open up some new excitement levels and some new recruiting energy. I can tell you when you go back and watch it, you'll see why. I'll talk about it a little bit later as well. But I got a chance to see who was on my team, who was on there, right? And so got a chance to see who wasn't. And like I said, this middle of the day, impromptu. There ain't no gigs, it's just for not being there. It's just I want to see who went over and beyond and jumped on and made time for it, right? So, and then I want to see who went back, like the people who didn't. I put a video in the chat, say, go back, watch it, right? Go back and watch it, go back and watch it, go back and watch it. And so now I got 1 or 2 text messages from people saying, man, I went back and watched it. I'm ready to rock and roll. I had one guy tell me the hair on my back and standing up. I can't sit still. Now I'm ready to rock. And so who went back and watched it. And so, and again, weekend, you got a whole weekend to go back and watch it. So go back and watch it. But what you're doing, and then you got the customer install. Anytime you get a chance to go out there, if you're in the cities, because a lot of times some of your installs are in different cities and states. If you can go out there, meet the people, take some pictures, do some videos, get a testimonial, that's money. That's marketing. That's advertising. That's commercials, basically. Right. And so to get the testimonial, ask the person how excited they are. Ask the person what was the reason that made you want to go solar. Was it because of savings? Was it because of future savings? Because of ownership over ownership? What was it? And ask questions about freedom. Ask questions about the person who did the presentation, right? Because those are all reels or shorts at some point in time. Those answers become you can weaponize those answers literally. You can put them out there in Facebook. Right? And matter of fact, Carly, remind me to talk about how to set up reels when it comes to videos. Just say, remind me to do that when you when I come back up. But good stuff, Lissy. Good stuff. Congratulations on your solar customer. Happy to hear that. But like I said, I'm glad that you're doing all the right things. All right. Okay, Jim.
Good morning, Mr. Bean. Good morning, team. Hey, still working up before these calls, so Saturday mornings are real different for me. My win this week is frustration. The reason I say that, so a lot of frustrations with the week. I saw Erjan. He started his week Monday with a statement about how many cancellations. So I'm relating to that, some commission frustrations, some consultation frustrations, like, rescheduling and pushing it back and not sending the utility bill and not enough time for training and all of that to say that the win is persistence, still just keep coming back. But when there's no activity, there's no frustration. And so I'm glad to have the frustration because it means I'm doing something. So 17 days into this 90-day blitz, it's coming along. It's humming along. So that's my win for the week is having some frustration. So I appreciate being here.
Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, it's got to be tough for you, man. If you're being ready to do something huge, something big, something bold, something bad, just expect violent opposition. Expect it to be again a challenge. Like I say, you don't have a testimony without the test, right? So you're just being tested. That's all it is. And so your creator is trying to see if you're worthy or not. If you're real serious about what you say you want out of life. If you just want to come talk about it on Saturday morning, that's all it is. That's it. And so it's all good. Trust me, because it's going to be some frustrations from day one to 7 figures, and embrace them. It's just like people tell me, well, I would never want to pay $1 million in taxes. That's about the dumbest thing you can ever say, right? If you're paying $1 million in taxes, you know how much money you made. You know what I mean? And so it's like people they don't want the work. It's like, but they want the money. So they don't want to go chop down a tree, but they want the fire. It's like, that's why you're going to die broke, right? You're going to die broke on your excuse bed. So keep on laying on them excuses you keep on making. So appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Keep it in, keep hunting. And like I said, breakthroughs is coming. And like I said, that's the other thing. Just staying plugged into these positive environments. Guys, when you are when you're in lonesome land is what I like to call it. You're out there by yourself and you get excited, then all of a sudden something happened and you get a no, right? Or you get a cancellation or something. Now you have nobody to turn to, you have nobody to lean on, and now you're sitting there listening to yourself be negative, super negative, right? And when you hear people who like Jeremy, who they literally he went and knocked on every door in every neighborhood in the area of town for 2 weeks straight and realized that we don't even serve that area, right? It's like think about that. What kind of frustration is that, right? And then, you got $9 million worth of commercial, deals on the table, and the government says we got tariffs, and all of a sudden the price of solar panels and everything go up, and all kind of other material goes up, and we can't import nothing. It's now all of a sudden you got $9 million of dead money on the books, right? And so talk about frustration. And so still kicking it. And trust me, he's had his moments where I have our conversations, right? so it's but that's what you have the system for. That's what you have leadership for. That's what you have counsel for, right? And so he was moments from jumping off bridges a couple of times, you know what I mean? But that's what it is, man. That's if you haven't almost jumped off a bridge for your business, you've never been in business. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Expect it, embrace it, and because you get the chance to talk about it. And so now you double back based on him being resilient, right? And now 4 deals in the same neighborhoods and more coming. Now it's about to be open back up for commercial, and one, two, three, or four, or five of those deals are gonna pop off, right? And so I'm just telling you, you're just being tested. That's it. That's all it is. You have to go through, your phase. You got to, how they say, your rite of passage. You just can't walk into seven figures unscathed, unharmed. You know what I mean? It just don't work like that. If that happened like that, everybody who bought a scratch off will win. That if it happened like that, everybody who opened up a business would win. And so thank God and who your creator is for those challenges because they making you tougher. Like I said, what don't kill you make you stronger. What don't make you quit make you bigger, bolder, more confident. Less doubts, less uncertainty. And more posture. So stand on it. All right, Chris McHenry, I'm gonna let you slide in there, and then I'm gonna bring up Doc because that's how I'm gonna close it out with Doc. I'm gonna keep my word.
I appreciate you. Uh, Thank you for the platform that you create for all of us. And this week I was super excited. As you can see, everyone has been seeing my face a lot more. I'm really excited to help communicate and host and learn everybody's personality so I can edify everybody. Like my edification is on a whole nother level with everybody now because I'm just creating it off the top of my head and learning more. And that's something that I never did before. I mean, I'm always a talker. I can always come off the top of my head, but now it's more of making sure I highlight everybody that's speaking and presenting and just, taking all the stuff that I've learned over the last year about anybody that's in a company and broadcasting it out to the masses like Carly does. Carly does an awesome job at edification. So I'm loving doing that. And also a lot of the things that I'm picking up from Mr. Bean and Mr. Rangel about people are now coming to me like, hey, I see you're doing a lot. I see your face everywhere. Like, what do you got going on? When last year I was more of, hey, come work with me, come work with me, come look at this. The opportunity is great, but now it's more of people that I reached out to the last 6 months or now. I talked to a guy yesterday that I talked to in November of last year, and he reached out to me randomly, just called me, and I store everybody's number in my phone, even they don't partner with me or whatever. I still put their number in my phone. I'll say, Henry Roofer prospect, Sam Bean leader prospect, whatever. So called and I was like, oh, Henry, this guy, well, he's in my phone. He said, hey, you still doing solar? I said, yeah. I'm doing a lot more than solar now. He's like, yeah, we talked some time ago, and I followed you on social media. I see you're like posting like almost every day now. He's like, I'm a roofer in Maryland. I was like, oh, Maryland has a great rebate of $7,500 right now. So that's ending next month. He's like, yeah, I'm actually thinking about joining. And I said, okay, well, if you do, if you don't, hey, it doesn't matter. But here's the information. And it was one of those things like Mr. Bean and Mr. Rangel say, like, hey, if you join, great. If you don't, I'll just every once in a while maybe keep you in a loop. Look at my social media, look at what I'm doing, and you'll come back. And he exactly did that because I sent this guy our Super Saturday, he didn't respond. I sent him something else, he didn't respond. And I said, hey, it seems like your business is flourishing and you don't need anything else. So congratulations to you. But he's circled back around. And I think one of the main things, and I'll wrap this up, is proximity, because now I'm in proximity with greatness more. I'm talking to Mr. Navarro. I'm talking to Mr. Bean. I'm talking to Mrs. Bean. I'm talking to Mr. Rangel more frequently, and I'm picking up stuff that I don't even know that I'm picking up. Like, and my conversations are now, they're more of, I don't really need you. Like, this opportunity is great, and if you don't see it and you don't believe it, then okay, I'm still going to go to way more levels than with you without you. And you can start here now, but you can't if you don't want to. So it's been fun. This last week has been fun. I'm super excited where we are going with all the new products that we have launching. And I'm super excited to see new presenters coming on and doing their thing. Um and I love it. I love that we're getting more organized and communicating, and more people are getting a spotlight to talk in, like Carly, like Dale, like Matt. I love seeing new presenters come on, and I can see the nerves in them, but they just kick it out and they just go and they just start running. So I love it, and I appreciate you all, and I appreciate your platform, Mr. Bean.
For sure. Well, again, when you talk about, let's start with proximity. I hit on proximity, not that's indirectly, but what I'm gonna tell you, you can catch a lot of game. You can catch a lot of nuggets, being in proximity. For years, I was always, walking next side by side, even if it was virtually or even if it was over the phone or whatever, with my mentors, because they were always dropping nuggets. I was always there to catch it with my little bucket, right? And so I come home every night, metaphorically speaking, um, when I say pounds of nuggets, the golden nuggets, that's how I cash them in, right? And so you don't know what you don't know, right? And when you're around people who have some information, who have some insight, who have some wisdom and knowledge, who have some know-how, you can just glean from that and just grow from that. And that's irreplaceable, right? And so that's one thing. But edification master, I'm gonna tell you, I got a homework assignment for you. What my movie the buff said? How many people like a really good movie? Okay. All right. Now, there's a movie, and some of you guys have seen this, but I don't think you really appreciate what you saw. I don't even think you knew what you was looking at when you saw it. I think you think it was probably more entertaining when you saw it. But there's a movie called The Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger. Knight's Tale. Oh yeah, you saw that. Yeah.
Hilarious.
The dude, I loved it. I'm telling you, it's like one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm gonna tell you why. Dude came from nothing. He asked his father, "Do you think you can change? Can a man change his stars? Basically, can you change your life and go from being poor, as a birthright, and to being rich as a king? And so, and he went and he changed his stars. But the thing about the changing of the stars, he had all the right people in place, right? He had his ride or die, he had his squad, right? And they were few, but they were efficient, they were effective, and they got the job done, and they were loyal to him the whole entire time, and but the one person I want you to really pay attention to is the dude that does the edification. You talking about edification so cold? He's the only person in the world who I would say is better than Carly Wynn. That dude, you got it. I got you, Carl. I love you. So they scripted him. He wasn't even that cold. They drew that up for him, Carl. Don't worry about it. You still the best. So, but that was just a script. Yeah. He just got credit for it. But no, go watch that movie again and watch how he moves the audiences. Watch how he's so cold blooded that the guy who's edifying on the other side, they just give up. Like it's like they don't even want to edify no more. Right? It's a problem. And the kings on the other side look at it like, why you don't edify me like he edify him? He got this dude walking on water, gliding like Spike Lee in a Spike Lee movie. I'm telling you, you gotta watch it. Go watch it again because you didn't watch it right the first time. You was watching it with your consumer eyes. Watch it with your business eyes. Watch what I'm telling you. You're gonna enjoy it, but you're gonna see this dude is cold blooded when it comes to edification. And when you master edification, you get everybody's bullet points, Chris. And that's why you always celebrate. Hey, send me your bullet points if you know who the speaker is going to be. If you're going to be the one, if they chose you to introduce them guys, make sure get that bullet point so you can, you can actually do that. Make sure you can do a great job of it, because remember, your job is important, the most important. But yeah, nice tell. It's awesome. Now, but when you all going, just going back to the posting and stuff like that. If you're contacting people all day, every day, and you just grinding, you're running, and you don't care what happens, you like for things to happen, but you understand that tomorrow is coming, and you're just seeding, right? You're just tilling the soil. You're just out here. You're just putting in work right now. Like I said, last year, that was last year. Now this year, it's coming back to pay him, right? You you can't make withdrawals without making deposits first. He's made over a year's worth of deposits, right? And now he's now going back to the bank with that 4-digit PIN code, saying, "Hey, I need some money up out of here," right? And so go put in the work. Period. Stop trying to. This is not your job. Don't go thinking that you're finna clock in, do a couple hours of work, and get a couple solo deals. No, that's not how it works. It's that's not how this works. You go out here. Now, I'm not saying that you can't go get solo deals right away. I'm not saying you can't go get water deals right away. What I'm saying is, um, grow up in business. Make sure you have mature, adult expectations of what's to happen. You know who you are right now, and you know who you need to become, and to make things happen on a high level. Okay, so let's do that. Right, let's do that part. But that the edification and going back to being in proximity. When you're in proximity, it does something for your confidence. Right, so your posture does get strong, because when you're standing next to the people who have the plan, the people who are making it happen, and that does something for your confidence, but it also cultivates your conversations, because you're hearing what these people are saying and how they're saying it. That's why I say three ways lifelines are so important, so crucial, so dynamic. I've learned so much from three ways and lifelines, just on how to interact in a conversation. Just by listening. I'll record them and go back and listen to them. Like, man, that was cold blooded. Ooh, I didn't see that coming. I know they didn't see that coming either. So it's just like you can be catching stuff. It's like, you know what I'm saying, Jim? I'm just saying you be catching stuff and be like, whoa. And all of a sudden you go back and you grow a team, and your team be looking at you like, man, you hear what Carly just said? You hear what both Carlys just said? Carly and Carly, Carla and Carly. So we got these Carly and Carla. We got Sabrina and Subrina. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of these names, but y'all names really, really close. So, but you want your people to go back and say, "Whoa, Angel! Wow, where Angel get that from?" Oh, Eddie came with that fire. Ooh, I didn't. And so that's you. Trust me, when you're in those three ways, those lifelines, and y'all are, you bringing business to the table. Remember, every time you bring business to the table, it's a different business. It's a different conversation. It's a different college course, right? And so that's what you do. It's an open book quiz, guys. It's training without that you don't have to pay for. You just the only way you pay for that type of training is by doing the work, putting the people in front of the leader. So appreciate it, Chris. Dr. Arlene.
Good morning, sir. I'm getting my Saturday dose so that I can set my week up right. Thank you for the platform, Carly. You fired me up, gave me a ton of energy. Thank you very much for that transfer of energy. My numbers this week, we had 6 solar appointments booked, 2 one-on-ones booked, and a rain appointment booked within the team. Of the 6 solar appointments that we had booked, 3 kept, 2 of them were DQ'd. 1 of them I'm following up with on Monday to close that deal. Insofar as prospecting, I did 1 in-person prospect this week, so I'm gonna pat myself on the shoulder for that. Right, with a young man who actually is interested in sales. So getting that done. Daniel is actually out in Alabama. He's about to come in your neck of the woods, Dale. He prospect, and I told him, I said, you know what, we're not in Freedom is not in Louisiana yet, but they're coming soon to a theater near you. But he actually prospected and this one is commercial, so we might be there. A guy who has 3 car washes in Louisiana. So getting that one going, and then Sarah, of course, is working the Facebook leads. We got 41 Facebook leads in this week. Leadership. My reflection this week is leadership and leading from the front. So Mr. Pacheco said he's not into motivation, he's into motive action, and that your motives should drive you to action. So the deal that we made as a family in our business was that they would book 3 solar appointments on my calendar every single day, 6 days a week. Well, with only 6 booked, mama wasn't happy. So I let them know I wasn't happy, and they didn't like the fact that I let them know I wasn't happy, but it's okay. Y'all want to be business partners? Put your big girl pants on, your big boy pants on, and come on up and step to the plate. And I told them that, and they didn't like it. So Sarah walked out of the gym with her little attitude. Daniel told me I was doing too much with his little attitude. And I said, okay, I'll take my destiny into my own hands. And they said, what do you mean by that? I said, well, if I got to make the phone calls, book the appointments and all that, all the money is mine. So, needless to say, more appointments are being booked on my calendar because I'm leading from the front. And they needed some motive to action, because if all the money is mine, how they gonna live? So, sir, now I'm gonna calm down and say that Audra also had a rain appointment this week with Mrs. Bean. Her folks are getting the paperwork done, so she's about to close her first rain appointment. And I told her she's going to be the rain queen for the team, and she agreed with me that she's going to be the rain queen for the team. So she can't wait to work with Queen Bean on the rain. But again, motive and action. Your motives should drive you to action, whether they're positive actions or your motive could be negative, and it could drive you to negative actions. So that's and by the way, I attended, I took your Align invite, which brought me back to Align, which made me realize that I had 100 messages waiting of people wanting to connect. It also made me realize that there are a lot of networking events, Angel, that I'm looking at on Align. They're in person and online. I've already booked into 2 and 5 to stay alive. So we have the Facebook ads going. Now we're going to have Align going. We're also going to doing in person. So I wrote it on my schedule every Thursday to get in-person networking in. And then also my networking group on Wednesdays. So every 5 days a week, something different, networking or prospecting to build the recruiting side, because I have an affiliate who's now becoming a builder that I'm working with today. That's all I have, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. In-person prospecting, guys, you can't replace that. Like I said, if you're out and about, meet people. Make it your business to meet people. Make it your business to shake some hands. Make it your business to form, to people and have the form technique going at full tilt, right? And that's important. That when you look at what you got going on when it comes to building an organization, you want to be able to have some people who you've met in person in your organization, because again, it's just something about online. Because if you meet a person online, you get a person in business from online, that means that somebody online can come and take them out your business, right? And so if you meet a person in person and you make a connection, right, it's harder for a person to steal that individual from you, okay, if you have the actual connection. So don't be afraid to meet people, right? And so let me see here. Oh, when it comes to the leads and everything, I said, I don't know how the lead generation works. Sometimes you're gonna have up week, down week, light week, but those appointments. Sarah, would you like to retort? Would you like to defend yourself at this moment? I'm giving you an opportunity. What I mean? Mom made some pretty bold statements here.
Let's go. Bring it.
Nah.
Okay.
You know how it is. It's all family. Just want to say hello, darling. But no, you keep, and that's the thing, guys. When you're in business, business is business. And the cool part about it, being in business, is you're gonna have business conversations. Okay, and then business conversations go both ways, and so you will learn how to evolve your communication within your business group as well. Because when you look at business, the other thing is this: um, there's business when it comes to hierarchy, when it comes to the owner of the company, and his business when it comes to, you know, team leaders when it comes to leadership as well. And there's business in the family. And it's like when you have church and you have state, you gotta separate them, right? And so when you're in business, I want to make sure y'all understand this because I've seen this happen where relationships deteriorate and you realize you can't really do business with people who are in your family. Like my sisters, they it's like a cat fight when they try to do things together, and so they don't do business together, anymore. And so when they could have, but they wouldn't take advice. But at the end of the day, when it comes to communicating, you're used to communicating as a parent, okay, and putting your foot down as a parent. Now that conversation and communication has to evolve to the business because now you're dealing with your business partners, not. There's no rank in business when it comes to that. You can't bring that. That's manipulation. Okay, that's manipulation. So stop the manipulating, Doc.
They're
so
not letting me do it.
so
They push back. Mom, you doing too much. Mom, you are
yeah.
impatient.
See, that's the thing. Anytime they say, and look, when they say mom, you already know at that point in time that you're doing too much. Now, if they say, Arlene, look, I'm gonna need you to see, but but if you're business partners, they would be able to say, Arlene, look, you're doing too much, and so I'm gonna need you to. So let's make sure we bring this back. We got our roles, you got your job, we're gonna do it now. Can we do more? Yes. Okay, let's have that conversation. All right, should we do more? Yes, let's have that conversation. And how can we get better? Let's have that conversation. Okay. But I'm gonna need you to take mommy out of that situation.
I do have to, I'm a rebut Sarah then here, so that's since
So,
she's not up for defending herself today. I'm gonna give her a
hold on,
call.
hold on. 'Cause I'm gonna tell you what happens. I'm gonna say, Sarah, and Dan. So hold on, we put these ads together. All she gotta do is sit there. You know what? We'll go grab Idris. We'll do the ads for Idris. Oh, we go what? We'll go grab. We go grab Chris. Or we go grab Dennis. We'll do the ads for Dennis. We don't need this. You know what I'm saying? Then you done created a mutiny. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. Sarah ain't gonna say it. I said, Sarah said, look, you know who I am? I'm the LeBron of Louisiana. I'll take my talents to Miami. Keep on. You know what I'm saying? Keep on. So, y'all make sure, y'all make sure y'all keep holding each other accountable, guys. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
But
Look
sir,
for what
she
y'all
did
got
share
going
though.
on.
She did share, and
Uh,
she said, she said to me, she said, I've asked you all several times to be in the same room with me when I make calls, and you all go off and do what you need to do for the business, and you don't sit in the room with me.
mhm.
And I said, there's a difference between asking us to sit there and telling us that you do better, you thrive better, you make better calls when we're in your presence and blocking that time out. I said, so part of what we're working on here is communication.
There you
If
go.
you communicate your need, then we know what you need and we can support you. Versus
Mhm.
asking, we feel like we have an option. So I
Mhm.
sat with her when she was making calls. I didn't have to do anything. Like you said, I didn't have to do anything. I just had to sit there, right? And I sat there with her. And just a few things that I learned from you, some things that one of the calls that you plugged us into, just a few things like instead of leaving, hey, this is Sarah from Geo Solar Consultants, and mentioning solar, just hey, Jim, this is Sarah. Hey, Mr. Bean, this is Sarah. Call me back. And she got 5 callbacks that day with that one tweak. So I gotta give the follow up there, not just
Mhm.
the hammer I threw.
There you go. There you go. And the other thing, being in the room, like I said, that's why role playing is so important because you're doing it with somebody who's holding you accountable. But there's also being in the room, having people in the room. It makes you step your game up while those calls are happening. It does hold you more accountable. You don't want to look. You rather look crazier to the person on the other side of the phone than the person that's sitting next to you, right? And so when I first started getting really good at making phone calls, it was because a lot of times I had one moment where I was sitting in the room with my senior partner at that time, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to get this wrong in front of him. So I was doing everything that I'd been taught, to do, and those calls became fantastic. So um, I appreciate you guys. We definitely rolled over into the 9 o'clock hour and Central Standard Time here. And so what I want to do right now is I want to shift gears real quick here, and because I want to make sure that our trainer has the top opportunity to train what she's going to train, and I'll come back on and give a little cap on the situation with what I just a nugget or two that I want you guys to walk away with. But at this moment, there is a person, because this industry, it's an industry where you have a lot of people who are free spirits, a lot of people who are adults, professionals, people who have had a measurable level of success in different things that they've done, different walks of life. And when it comes to one of the biggest, strongest, most effective tools in a toolbox, but is underutilized as a tool. This person is highly qualified and more qualified than anybody in my personal opinion, to actually train on this. And so when you get this training, again, listen to this training without your ego present. Eh, Listen to take your ego, put the ego in the box, and then you can put it back in your brain, once she's done. But this is a person who's been with us for years. She's always been the epitome of loyalty. She's always been the epitome of edification. She's always been the epitome of being just a dear friend. But also somebody who's always a servant leader as well. And so, what I want to do is I want to get to the side, and so I can stop embarrassing her, and then invite none other than Mrs. Carly Gunn, aka Gwen, to the table.
Mr. Bean, I was like, if you keep going, I'm gonna be over here like, I'm like, please don't do me like that, please, please. But thank you so much, sir, for that absolutely extraordinary edification. And of course, everything that I've learned about edification, I learned because I saw and I learned from you and Mrs. Bean because I saw you be edification. Not only did you say edification, but I saw you guys walk it out. So I literally just duplicated what I saw you guys do, because you eat, sleep, breathe edification in everything that you do. So thank you so much for being who you are, and thank Mrs. Bean for being who she is and being that example for us to follow. And of course, it's always an honor and a privilege to serve the platform. So thank you for creating the platform and giving me the opportunity to serve the big team. I did have a testimony too, but because I was on the co-host, it wouldn't let me raise my hand. So I did have something to share if I can, really super quick.
Drop it. Go ahead.
Y'all, don't sleep on being a product of the product, okay? Get into that back office. I had a lot of stuff going on the past couple years, and I was like, you know what? My birthday is coming, and I have not had a chance to do anything for my birthday for a couple years. And I'm like, we got this travel, we got this Aventi travel. Let me just check some stuff out. And I got back there and I was searching for this resort that I wanted to go back to down in the Florida Keys. And when I went onto that resort's website, the rooms were $300, $400, $500 a night. On Aventi Travel, $169.99 a night. So your girl is going to the Keys for her birthday.
Hey.
And I say that to say, like, sometimes we don't really go and explore the back office. We don't explore all the things we have access to. I know Solar and Rain and everything they're like the stars of the show, but don't sleep on the other products and services that we have.
Now, I'm gonna tell you something, Carly. That you just said something. When you look at automobile dealers, and Brenda will tell you better than anybody, the dealerships don't make the money on the cars. They make money on the bells and whistles, right? And so when you look at the bells and whistles, all the sunroof, the leather seat, leather package, the upgraded stereo system, whatever, and then the service charges for you having that warranty, and all the extra stuff is where you make your money at. So imagine it takes you 60 days to get and close a solar deal. Well, that's 60 days of dead space. But what could you do, with that? You go out there and book some hotel rooms, book some movies, book some bouncy house stuff, go ahead and get some discounts on your food while you got it. And just go ahead and rack up a whole lot of little bitty stories, a whole lot of bell and whistle type of stories. And those would be the stories you'd be amazed at how many moms you would actually say, you know what? Oh my God, this would just make my life like a whole lot easier. You find all these couponers that are out there that's always looking for a deal. And like, oh my God, I'm in a coupon community. And now all of a sudden that I can tell all my couponers about all these amazing discounts that I got up. You are making money on creating experiences and things like that. So that's good stuff, Carly.
Thank you, sir. Now on to edification. So I'm definitely gonna need some participation today, guys. So I'm definitely gonna be watching the chat. Okay, a couple of times I'm gonna ask you some questions. So please make sure you're providing that participation. You get more out of the training when you're participating. And I can't promise you that I'm not gonna step on some toes. Okay, so just know that I love you. I'm sending you my love right now because I might take the hammer to some toes, okay? Including my own sometimes, but so just be ready. Mr. Bean said already that edification is the star of the show, right? It's the foundation for every other thing that you're going to do in this business. So when you don't utilize it, you're building your house with no foundation. So it's just going to implode on top of you, okay? And even though what we do isn't network marketing, it still requires you to use these tools to accomplish the goals that you have. Again, Mr. Bean said, edification, one of the most powerful tools, but it's also one of the most underutilized tools that you have. So if you want to increase your sales and growth, you must master edification. And I got news for you. Those of you guys that are out there on the line and you use edification and you're learning to master it every single day in your business, you are playing chess, not checkers. Okay. The people that are out there letting their ego run their business, they're costing themselves more than what they know. I've seen it happen time and time again where you have people who are getting momentum, they're growing these teams. And because they've got their ego in the way and they won't edify and they don't edify the system, they don't edify their leadership, they won't get out of the way and set their ego aside. Next thing you know, their business is gone. Again, because you don't have that foundation, the house is going to fall in on you. So if you know you're on the line and your ego is in there and you're like, man, I don't even want to hear this training. I don't want to hear what she's talking about. La da 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 da. Just know that when your house starts falling in on you, remember this moment. When your business starts going backwards because you won't set your ego aside, just remember this moment. Like Mr. Bean said, open up your brain, take your ego out, set it to the side, because it's not about me. It's not about Mr. Bean. It's not about any of that. The edification is for you. Okay. You might seem like, oh, they just want to hear me say good things about them. They just want to hear themselves get all souped up or whatever. I promise you it's not true. The edification is so that the leader can turn around and edify you right back to your prospect who probably doesn't have a level of respect for you because it's somebody that you've known, it's somebody that maybe they've seen you do another business or something, and maybe you weren't successful at that, or maybe you have success, but it's in a different industry. So they're questioning whether or not you can do this. Maybe they have more experience in doing high ticket sales or solar or water or anything. And they're like, why should I listen to this person? Well, if you don't edify your leadership, if you don't edify the system and what you have access to, they're not going to respect you. They're not going to listen to you. And now you can't help them to be able to grow their business, to have sales, any of that, because you've let your ego get in the way. So please don't let your ego cost you money, cost you your business. I'm just going to say that now. Mr. Bean already said that, but I'm just going to say that right now, okay? So edification really starts with your energy. It's not just what you say, it's what you do. It's what you don't say. It's what you heard Mr. Bean say. It's the calls that people don't see you on. It's the comments that people don't see you make. It's the posting that you don't get to do because you're not fighting to do it. It's the events that people don't see you at. It's the times that you show up late. it's the messages that you don't send out, right? Or are you doing the opposite? Are you really promoting and campaigning for the cause, for the events, for the opportunity to speak to your leadership, right? Are you campaigning and promoting that and really edifying that opportunity? Or is it just willy-nilly, you can take it or leave it, right? So it's that energy. And remember, people are always watching you. They're watching what you post. They're watching what you say. They're watching what you do. Like at the events, you heard me say, I saw Mr. and Mrs. Bean be edification. Not just they said edification. It wasn't just about what I saw them say about the leadership, about the company, about the product when they were in front of the room. It was what I saw them do and how I saw them be around the leadership when they weren't in the front of the room, when they thought no one was watching, but I know they know better and know everyone is always watching, right? Because I saw them carry their leader's bag. I saw them, making sure that their leadership had whatever they needed. They were there supporting them and, hey, how can I help? What can I do? I saw them be the servant leader, the definition of that. So that's how I learned how to do that. And that's why I said, hey, I want to be like that, because I saw what they were doing and I saw how their people then showed up for them. Because why? Because they saw them showing up for their leadership. So remember, what you're doing and how you're treating the company, the system, the leadership, that's how your people are going to treat you. So if you want people to not have respect for you, to not do three-way calls, to not do lifelines, if you want people to not show up for events, if you want people to, just act like, you're no big deal or whatever, you can't help them and, they're trying to do everything by themselves, then, I guess you can make that decision. But it's, again, you don't realize the money that it's costing you. You don't realize the deals that you're not going to close because of that. Because remember, how you're teaching them to treat you, you're also teaching them how to treat the mentors that are helping them to close the deals. So if they don't have respect for you, they're not going to have respect for the solar mentor that's helping them, or who chooses not to help them because they have no edification. Don't let your people, don't be trying to close a rain deal and you got Mrs. Bean as your mentor and you haven't set that call up right. I'm just telling you right now, don't try to book on her calendar again. No, and I promise you, you do not want to end up on that list, right? You don't want to end up on Mr. and Mrs. Bean's do not answer list, right? Don't be that person. I'm kidding, but not kidding. Like, seriously, guys, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you don't have edification for your leadership and setting those calls up and setting those meetings up, they're going to continue that. They're going to continue the de-edification throughout everything else that they do. So your team is, your sales, your business is dead in the water before you even start, because that foundation is not there. So again, you're creating the entire experience for the prospect, for the person that maybe is looking to make a sale or a purchase, with your edification. So you're going to dictate how much value that person has for the Facebook groups, the WhatsApp group, the company, the products, the experiences and mastermind events, the calls and trainings. You heard Miss Laura Johnson say she has 25% of the call today is her people. So what that says to us is she has a lot of value for the call. She's been promoting the call to her people, not just sending them a text message or an announcement, right? Because it's two different things. Oh, hey, here's this call. That's not the same as promoting the call. That's not the same as edifying the call and giving value for that person to know why they need to be here, why they need to wake up early on a Saturday to set aside this time to be on this call, right? So you're setting that tone with your edification for everyone that you're working with, right? So I'm going to need you guys to put some examples in the chat. So get ready. So give me an example of some names of some people or some companies or some products that you have a lot of respect and regard for. Okay. While I'm waiting for people to come in the chat, one for me is Walt Disney World, right? So, you know, Disney, okay, Dale says Apple. I love that. Amazon, Mr. Bean says Amazon, Costco, Marvel, Sarah, woman after my own heart. I love that. Microsoft, Samsung, right? Think about things like Hermes, right? Louis Vuitton, right? Those brands that have so much, like, people just revere them, and it's like they have so much value, right? What do those brands, the things that you put into the chat, they Chick-fil-A, right? They create an experience. They've edified that product. They've edified the leadership. They've created an experience for the person that's going to that place, right? You have an expectation of what you're going to expect because that's the tone that they set, right? If someone's going to, and for those of you guys that have never been to Walt Disney World, just bear with me. I know you know their experience. People have an expectation of what's going to happen when they go to Disney World. It's going to be clean and pristine, and they just do everything with a heightened level of excellence, right? Well, that's ingrained in their people, right? If you're going to Chick-fil-A, right, they're going to say, my pleasure. That's ingrained in their people. That's ingrained in the brand. So are you ingraining edification in your team, in your organization, so that when people see you, when they see your brand, they say, that's somebody I want to be, that's a team I want to be a part of. They're going somewhere. I see how they uplift each other and they encourage each other. And I see, the value that is there because they see that edification ingrained in every single aspect of what you're doing. That's what I saw Mr. and Mrs. Bean do from the very first time I ever saw them, met them, and experienced being in their presence. That's what I saw them create, right? That edification was there from the beginning. I didn't understand it or know that that's what it was. Right, Mr. Bean said, I have zero anxiety shopping from Amazon. They have low prices, great customer service, no hassle returns, entertainment, and it's a great business model. Exactly. And people, they created that, they edified what they have, that product and the service, they got edification. And so that's why people value it, right? Like with Hermes, you can't even go in there and just buy a Birkin bag or certain things. You have to build a relationship with that company before they even will let you purchase certain things. Like who heard of that, right? Like where does that come from? But that's how much value they have for the brand. So think about that when you're thinking about edification. You are building the value for the brand, the company leadership. You are the one that's instilling all of that into your organization and the people that you're working with. You want to have that edification just ingrained in there where people I remember the very first event I ever went to with the first company that I was with Mr. Bean. And I had never been to any kind of event like this before. And I just remember, like, I saw how people were sitting on the edge of their seats at the event, and people had their pens and notepads out, and they were writing notes and they were paying attention. And it was like, I didn't dare just sit back and act like I was just like looking at my phone or something. I was like, okay, wait a minute, I got to be on purpose in this meeting. Like, can I borrow some paper and pen from somebody or something? Like, I was not a note taker, but it's because everyone in that room was being edification. So I was like, hey, I really need to pay attention here and make sure I'm not missing anything because obviously this is something really important. So is that how your people feel when they show up on a call, or is it just real lackadaisical? Is that how they feel when they're coming to events? When they're getting the opportunity to get on a three-way call or a lifeline with your leadership? Or is it just like, well, I could take it or leave it? They're trying to grocery shop at the same time they're on the call. Or do they feel like, hey, I need to be at home and make sure it's quiet and I got my notepad? Right? So again, you're setting that tone. Edification helps you to have a situation where it's a part of providing and protecting for your team. What do I mean by that? Well, when you get started, your leader is going to provide and protect for you by guiding you step by step of what to do, what calls you want to make sure you're plugged into, what WhatsApp group and Facebook group are you supposed to be a part of, things that you want to look for and pay attention. They're going to make sure that they get you plugged into everything. And again, I would ask you as a leader, are you promoting those things and really edifying those things? Or are you just kind of like, oh yeah, there's this call. Yeah, you want to jump on this call on Monday nights. It's a call on Monday and Saturday, and you know, just jump on when you can. Is that what you're saying? Or are you like, hey, listen, you know, if you're serious about your goals, you want to make sure you don't miss these calls. This is what the Millionaire Mentorship Call is about. This is what the Saturday call is about. Make sure you're on early to be able to get your spot locked in. You may not be able to get a spot. You know, the spots fill up on the call. You want to make sure you're on early. Get your pen and paper ready, because you're definitely going to want to take notes. Are you promoting the call and the value that's there for that call? Or are you just, yeah, okay. You know, this is what you want to do. Yeah, check your back office from time to time. You know, this is da 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 da. Because if you're nonchalant about it, they're going to be nonchalant about it too. Okay. So again, you're providing and protecting, and your leader is going to do that. You want to make sure that you have proper lifeline calls with your brand new people. Okay, we're going to talk more about that here in a second. That way they can get introduced to their leaders and they can hear the stories of, you know, the leader and what they've been able to do and how they're going to help them. It gets them more excited. It gets them plugged into the system. And now they've heard you edify your leadership and them edify you back. And then when you properly edify your leaders, you are providing and protecting for them right back. Okay. For instance, if you were going to go to war, right? You wouldn't want to be sent out onto the battlefield with no guns, no shields, no weapons, no protection at all, right? Yes or yes, right? You wouldn't want to be just sent out there, and the other side, they got guns and tanks and all kinds of stuff, but you just out there just like, help, right? Well, when you don't properly edify your leadership, that's like you're sending them out there to war for you, and you're giving them no weapons, no tools to be able to protect you and help edify you back. Okay, you just sending them out there to get shot up. Right? There's nothing they can do for you at that point. I remember one instance. I'm gonna share this story. I'm not gonna say who the person was, but I remember one time being in the car in St. Louis with Mr. Bean. We were in a whole nother business, and someone else on the team was in the car with us, and they just got a call out of the blue they weren't expecting from a prospect. And it was like, they just lost their mind for a second. It was like, hey, so-and-so, yeah, this is Mr. Bean, and just tried to hand him the phone. And Mr. Bean looked at them like, I'm not taking the call. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? There was no edification that happened. And so there was no point for him to take the call. Because what's he supposed to do with that? Like, okay, this is Mr. Bean. The person's like, so who is Mr. Bean? Like, why would he have respect for him? Because he doesn't know why he should respect him. He doesn't know anything about him. Like, just because I know who Mr. Bean is doesn't mean you know, right? Just because I know how awesome Dr. Arlene is, or Miss Angel Trent is, or Mr. Dale Boudreaux is, or Miss Laura Johnson, doesn't mean the other person knows, right? So you're providing and protecting for your leadership right back. And that's so important. So edification is not just edifying your leaders, right? It's edifying the company, the events, the products, the system. You heard on all these testimonials of everybody this morning, right? I was starting to feel like, man, I don't want to follow all these testimonies and then Mr. Bean's nuggets he's giving everybody. Like, how am I supposed to go after all of that? But you know, you have all of these things in your arsenal now to talk about and to be able to share with people for success stories that they're having, you know, for different experiences that they're having with the business. You have those testimonies of what the system is doing for people. But if you don't edify and you don't plug people into the system, they're missing all of this, right? They're missing it. And it's costing them money and they don't know it. And it's costing you money. And you do know it because you're here learning about how it's costing you money, right? When you don't teach your people properly. So again, how are you going to get these stories? How are you going to get these testimonies? How are you going to make sure that you can properly edify? Well, by showing up yourself. The Saturday trainings, the millionaire mindset calls, or millionaire mentorship calls. You got to make sure, like Mr. Bean said, they're non-negotiables. I can remember Mr. Bean telling stories of him changing his flight to be on the millionaire mentorship call. Hey, I don't book my flights. I don't book my travel. Like, unless it's something totally outside my control, I don't miss. And I was like, okay, well then I don't miss. I don't book my flight, you know, like, again, unless there was no other flight I could get or I could take, or there was no other, like, I didn't have a choice in the matter, but I'm making sure that that's like the exception to the rule. And then going back and scheduling time to listen to the call in my calendar if I do have to miss. Because again, don't think that you're just on the call looking for your people. Your people are also on the call looking for you. Hey, are you on there? Because they're seeing, and you think, oh, you just think you check. You don't think they check. Like, hey, let me see who's on here. You just thought that was you. They weren't smart enough to do that. Oh, okay. All right. I'll let you believe that and be delusional if you want to, but I promise you, they're on there looking for you too. Oh, did they make a comment? Let me see. Some of your people aren't leaving comments because you don't comment. You don't leave your testimonial. You don't leave your feedback. They don't leave their feedback. Right? I just told you, I did all these things because I saw Mr. and Mrs. Bean do them. So if they didn't do them first, why would I do it? You heard Laura say earlier, hey, the people saw her on the call. They knew she was on the call because they saw her on the call. So they're like, oh, hey, I need to be there. Right? So you're going to show up for the call. You want to be at the big events, right? You want to be at all the events. And I promise you, if you're on the line and you know Mr. and Mrs. Bean, like I know them, and again, I'm going to talk more about this in a second, but you already know the events are coming. The Millionaire Mastermind events are coming. The leadership events are coming. Okay? Mogul weekends are coming. So just because you don't see it in front of you right now, and maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about, they're coming. So you want to be ready for those, be plugged in for those. And again, I'm going to touch on that again for us in a second. So just bear with me. Systems, the system, make sure your people are plugged into the system, which is these calls, which is the events, which is your leadership. You heard people on the call this morning that said, look, I had a rough week. I had some deals that backed out, or I had some appointments that canceled. I had some things that happened. Well, if that person's not plugged into the system because you didn't edify the system, then guess what? Maybe that person gets discouraged and quits. And so instead of them being like Jeremy, sitting there on $9 million worth of revenue that at some point is going to come into play, okay? They quit, and now somebody else has the opportunity to get that $9 million, and they're sitting there trying to figure out what they're going to do for their family. When if they were plugged in because you did your job and properly edified the call, now they're encouraged. Hey, you know what? It's okay. Stuff like that happens sometimes. You know, I heard this person say, you know, they had a tough week, but they stuck it out and then they just closed the deal, or they got a new builder, or whatever it is. Either you need the call or the call needs you, but either way, this is where you need to be. Right? The products and services. Are you edifying the products and services? Are you edifying the rainwater system? Are you even a product of the product? Let me start there. Right? Now, sometimes you might have a situation, maybe you live somewhere you can't get solar, or, you know, like I'm in an apartment, so I can't do anything about that. I wish I could, because my electric bill was like, hold up, what you say? But, you know, that's where I'm at right now. So that's okay. But trust and believe, I got some clean water. right? And I'm telling you right now, you can feel the difference in your skin and your hair. And just look up on the website, that EWG.org, and look in your zip code and see all the contaminants in your water. Do you want to be consuming that and soaking your body in that? Your hair, I can feel the difference when I have clean water. My hair is softer. It's not damn, it's not rough and like tangles up. My skin is less dry. I have less irritants. Right? All of those contaminations, they're going into your body. So you're sitting there eating clean and eating organic food, but then you're consuming all that nastiness in your water because you don't have clean water. So are you a product of the product? Are you on the Smart Money Club calls, learning what to do with your money so you can educate other people, so you can edify what people have access to? Are you booking your travel and Aventi Travel? Are you just jumping on there to I literally was just jumping on to just do some price checking just for fun out of curiosity. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. This is too good to pass up. I can't wait just a second. I've been wanting to go back here for a minute. You know, are you on there just looking at stuff? I was on there like, wait a minute, I got deals on Disney World tickets. Like, hold on. Let me see, are these better than the Florida resident discounts? You know what I mean? Just get on there and look around. You're not going to break something. So think about that one trip that I booked. The savings from that trip pays my subscription for at least 3 or 4 months, what I saved. So I know people out here traveling, taking trips. Could you be saving them money that it offsets the subscription because they're traveling so much, they're saving so much money, it offsets the subscription and they just get everything else as a benefit. Right? But you don't know that if you're not using the products and services, if you're not edifying the products and services, right? So guys, that's so important to make sure you have all of that edification in play on all of those areas. Remember, people are always watching you. They're always listening to you, seeing what you say and don't say, do and don't do. So let's talk a little bit about proper 3 ways and lifelines now that we know how to properly edify. And again, you heard Mr. Bean earlier say, have your edification bullet points ready so you can share them with your new team members. So you can share them with people who are maybe introducing you on a call. And again, you want to fight for the opportunity to host on the calls. Right? That's edification. That's how the system edifies you back for doing the right things. Being able to host on the call, being able to maybe do the presentation. And I know it's scary. I know people always say to me, oh, Carly, you don't understand because you don't get nervous. I promise you, I literally felt like was so nervous the first time that I hosted. I felt like I was having like heart palpitations. I promise you. It's just because of repetition that I don't feel like that now. But it's okay. You'll be okay. It just practice and it'll be okay. But you want to fight for those opportunities because that's one way that the system edifies you back is being able to be present on the call. Again, you heard Chris say, hey, I kept seeing this person's face. I keep seeing him everywhere. You know, oh, okay, maybe this is somebody that I should pay attention to. Maybe this is someone that, you know, hey, they do have that maybe what they're saying is valid because they see you teaching and training and presenting. So it adds that value to your brand and your name also. So, okay, 3 ways and lifelines. So what's the difference? So 3-way call happens before someone is in the business, calling to get their questions answered, calling to introduce them to your leadership so they know they're not in business by themselves. You have an expert that's helping you and that's going to be there to help them also. Lifelines are happening after the person is getting into the business to be able to have that person speak to other people in your leadership team. So that way, again, it's more social proof. It gives them more knowledge of knowing, hey, there's people here to support me and help me. I'm not just by myself. It's not just me and Angel. It's not just me and, you know, Dale. It's me and Mr. Boudreaux and Mr. Bean and Mrs. Bean. It's me and, you know, Mr. It's me and Dr. Arlene and me and Mr. Bean. It's not just you and that one person. Y'all aren't out on an island by yourselves. Okay. It's them knowing, hey, there's these other success stories. There's other people that are out there that are winning at this. It helps this person to, again, have more value, have more, yes, community. Angel is so important. It helps that person to know they're a part of a community and that there's value and edification for that community and the results people are having and what people are experiencing in that group. It lets them know, hey, I'm a part of a winning team and I'm going to win too because these are the people that are here to help me and support me. So when you don't do those three-way calls and lifelines, again, that's de-edification, first of all. So now that person feels like, oh, hey, I'm just going to be out here by myself. Like, I don't have anybody to help me. Or what if Angel decides she's going to, just disappear for a little while and she's not here to help me? I don't have anybody else to help me. Like, these are the thoughts people are having. And y'all know it's true because it's the thoughts that you had. Like, think back to way back before you ever got started, before you ever met Mr. and Mrs. Bean, and you know how reliable they are for those that have been working with them for a long time. Guys, most people out there don't have leaders like we have. So they don't know, they can trust that they're not going anywhere. They're not just going to be abandoned. Okay? They're not just going to sign up for something, sign up for a business, and then all of a sudden be left out there to figure it out for themselves. But that's what they think when you don't do the three-way calls and the lifelines, or you don't do them properly. Because again, that proper edification has to be in place first. So how are you setting up the three-way call or the lifeline? Right? You want to make sure you're setting that appointment up ahead of time. If I know, hey, I'm following up with, Jane Doe, and I'm following up with her at 5 o'clock on Friday. Okay. Well, I'm texting Mr. and Mrs. Bean ahead of time and I'm saying, Mr. Bean, I'm following up with, I have a presentation on Friday at 5. Would it be possible to have a three-way call with you at 6? Would you possibly have some time? And then I'm saying, as soon as he says, okay, yes, well, all right, perfect. So I'm putting it in the calendar. And when I'm ready to do that three-way call, first of all, I'm confirming with that person that morning that they're going to meet up with, like, hey, we're following up. So I'm going to confirm we're following up. And I'm making sure before I put that person on the call, I'm doing my edification before I ever get Mr. and Mrs. Bean on the call or whoever your leader is on the call. Okay. And then when I get them, first of all, I'm not going to tell that person, yeah, I booked this time with them ahead of time, so I know they're going to be available. I'm not acting like that. I'm like, look, I don't know if I can get a moment of Mr. Bean's time, Mrs. Bean's time, Dr. Arlene's time. I'm not sure if I can grab a moment, but I'm going to see if I can get them. I know they're helping people all over the world, so I can't promise it. Now, I know I've already set the appointment, but I'm going to tell them that, right? And I'm calling them. And then when I have the edification that's already been done before the call, I'm going to get on the line and say, Mr. Bean, first of all, thank you so much for taking a moment of your time. I have Angel on the line. Angel, this is Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean, this is Angel. And then I'm going to shut up. I'm not saying anything else. How y'all doing today? What's going on? Yeah, we just wanted to, I might say something like, yeah, I just sat down with Angel and she saw the presentation and I just wanted to give her the chance to be introduced to you, Mr. Bean, not you be introduced to Angel. I wanted to make sure that Angel had a second to be introduced to you. And then I'm hitting mute and record if I can, because like Mr. Bean said, you don't know what nuggets that your leader is going to share on that three-way call. And you want to be able to be more equipped to do proper three-way calls for your team. So hit record or be taking notes. It's even better if the person's there with you in person. Let them see you taking notes. Because all of that is edification. And it helps you. Again, you're learning from the system. You're learning from the edification. You're getting something from the calls as well. You're learning how to answer questions better. You're getting nuggets yourself. And if you're not, it's because you're not paying attention. Okay. So again, when you're on the call with your leader, with your expert, with the mentor, mute. We've all had moments where we're like, oh, I really wish they'd say blank. Oh, I really wish oh, but what about? And I know because I've had moments like that myself. But did I say no? Because I already knew don't interrupt. Because when you interrupt the speaker, when you interrupt your expert, you just took all the edification back. So unless they ask you to say something, unless they ask you to come off mute, don't say anything. And when you're ending the call, thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. I really appreciate you. Edification. Okay? I can't stress that enough, because when you don't do the call properly, you might as well just not even do the call. They have no resource to be able to help you. But I promise you, if you just trust me and you do the call the right way, you're going to get the edification back from your leader, from the system, from the opportunities that come to you, because they know they can trust you. You just heard Mr. Bean say, I'm not putting people on to host, to present, to train, to teach, unless I know I can trust them. And you're showing that you can be trusted by how you're edifying, by how you're showing up in your business. It's not just about results. That matters, but it's not just about results. It's about, can I trust that when I give you the microphone, you're going to be and eat and sleep and be edification. You're not just going to go off on some whole other situation yourself. Okay? So again, we've already talked about promoting and campaigning some, but I want to make sure that I reiterate that, because again, edification plays a huge part in you being able to properly promote and campaign. Are you storytelling? Mr. Bean always teaches us to paint a picture with our words. When you're promoting things like the calls, like the events, can that person feel? Can they see? Are they experiencing in their mind what is going to happen, what they're going to get from the call? Can they picture the success that they're going to have by just what you're sharing? Or again, are you just announcing something? Okay. You want to start to paint those pictures with your words. You want to storytell and make sure that that person is experiencing something before they ever even get to that event. Okay. Because again, as I said before, the events are coming, right? So you want to be preparing now. You want to make sure that you are getting your passports, that you're stacking your money, right? That you're building your business, that you're hitting ranks, because I promise you, the leadership events, the mastermind events, the team travel experiences, those are coming. Hint, hint, clue, clue. If you've been with Mr. and Mrs. Bean any period of time, you know that those are coming, because you know how they love and care for their people and what they look to do for their people and how they do events. Y'all see the video at the beginning of the calls, the Cancun trip, the yacht. I'm just telling you right now that was one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever had. And if you guys are on the line, exactly, Dale, verbal brochure. If you're on the line and you were on that trip, if you were on the yacht, tell me in the chat, how did that experience make you feel? For those that maybe weren't a part of Team Bean, how was it to be at that event? Because I promise you, when Mr. Bean even described it, he's like, it's the largest yacht that they have in Mexico that you can get down in Cancun, 40 feet. Out there in the water is crystal clear. Like, I could picture myself on the yacht, eating the food, on the water slide, on the jet ski. I could picture it all before it even ever happened. And when I got there, it was exactly what I pictured, and even more amazing than that. It was like one of the best days I've ever had in my life. And I promise you, you don't want to miss the next event, okay? But there were some things you had to do to be invited to be a part of that experience. So you want to do the activity now so you don't miss any of those events, because the food is amazing. It was just so fresh, and the water was so crystal clear. Like, it was the most beautiful day. And then the conversations that you get to be a part of. You heard Mr. Bean talking about proximity, just being around the leadership, being around successful people, people who are creating wealth and building wealth, the things that you learn. And again, just being in that energy. I know when I left that experience, I felt like my bank account got a boost. And I know it did, because my mindset and my energy got a boost. So you don't want to miss that. And don't even get me started about the award ceremonies and the recognition that Mr. and Mrs. Bean do for their teams. Spared. And again, if you've received or won any of the awards Mr. and Mrs. Bean have ever had and put together, let me see it in the chat. How did you feel? I literally felt like I had won like an Academy Award, like, and I mean, beautiful, even more beautiful awards than any of the awards I've seen on an award ceremony. And it felt so special because I know that what it meant behind each of the awards that they gave out. And and I'm telling you, you want to make sure you're ready and that your people are ready. And all of this is dependent on your edification. Because again, if you don't have that foundation built, your house is going to implode on top of you. Be looking like some of the pictures I saw from the tornado that came through St. Louis, unfortunately, because you don't have that firm foundation set. So again, you don't want to miss any of that. Take action now, get ready now, so that you're not getting caught slipping, okay? The events are extraordinary, and the leadership and mastermind and recognition is like none other. And I promise you, even though you don't know, because you haven't experienced, it's coming. And I can't even express to you in words how amazing it is to be in that energy and synergy of the community, and how you feel when you receive one of those awards, how you feel when you're in that energy. I miss it. In fact, when I was talking to Mr. Bean yesterday, I'm like, every time I talk to Mr. and Mrs. Bean, I'm like, I miss my family. I miss my Foresight family. Like, when is the next event? Like, when are we getting together again? Because I miss it. Right? So build your team now, build your bank account now, make sure you have your passports now. Because if you're not prepared, you're going to miss the experience. And again, you don't realize how much money it's going to cost you, how much growth it's going to cost you. But what I can promise you is, if you're not there, it's going to haunt you. It'll be like that ghost that just, like, like, I guarantee you, people that see that Cancun video that didn't do what was required to show up and be there, every time that video plays, it's like, oh. And if there's anybody that can execute on, hey, you should have been here, it's Mr. and Mrs. Bean. Like, you don't want to be on the receiving end of those you should have been here videos or text messages or gifts, like postcards. I know people were wondering when I got one of those postcards why I was bawling my eyes out walking back from the mailbox. But I didn't miss after that. I still would choke up crying when I pull it out. I still have the card, so I don't experience that ever again. So again, ladies and gentlemen, as I'm wrapping up, when it comes to leadership, there is no one out there that does more for their people than Mr. and Mrs. Bean. And, there's a reason why people call him the people's champ. And if you're on this line and you've worked with them for any period of time like I have, I know for a fact your life has been positively impacted. And I know for me, they've totally changed and transformed my life. I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't live where I live. I don't even know if my relationship would have lasted, because the tools that they gave us helped us to navigate when we went through challenging times, when we went through hardships. Like, they gave us the tools that we needed, not just for business, but for life. And I'm so extremely grateful that they've always done what they needed to do and paid the price ahead of time. They learned the lessons so that they could then come back and share it with us. And even when life hit them with some punches, they didn't just say, oh, well, hey, you know, whatever, I'm just going to move on. They said, no, we have a dream, we have a vision, we have a goal, we have a definiteness of purpose, and we're going to stay the course and help those 10,000 families reach that $5,000 a month in residual income and impact their lives in a positive way. And so I'm very grateful to Mr. Bean. It has been an absolute honor, privilege, and pleasure to serve the platform today. So I am going to turn it back over to our fearless leader. But before I do, if you're ready to go to war and win for your dreams and goals, let me see hashtag suit up in the chat. Mr. Bean, I will turn it back over to you. And don't forget to talk about the reels.
See, okay, there we go. The reels. See, that's why I had to make sure. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about the reels, and I'm talking about the real deal. I'm talking about the real Tia Carly Field. She killed it as always. I'm talking about nuggets, guys. If you can go ahead and put some fire in the chat for Carly. Like I said, if you got some things, you learned some things, you felt some things, you know, go ahead and show her some love, you know, because you know what she does is masterful, and you know you can tell a person who puts their heart into their work, right? And so that's why you want that type of representation. And but like she says, you have to be that type of representation. Okay. And so, you know, you have people who have goals and ambitions of being 7-figure earners, 6-figure earners, you know, because you got a lot of people who we talk about 7 figures, there's people who are not 6-figure earners, right? On their job or in business. And so you have to evolve though. You know, you have to do the uncomfortable. You have to do the things that you really don't understand, the things that you are really not comfortable with, right? You got to do those things because, you know, when it stretches you, you know, you'll feel it, you'll see it, you'll understand it, you'll grow from it, you'll learn from it. And then, but you'll also stretch the opinion of others as they perceive you. So remember, your growth stretches you, but what you don't understand, the biggest stretch comes from the stretches around you, like the people who, like the Carlys of the world, the people who see me on a regular basis. They didn't know me at first. They had to get to know me, and so Dale didn't know me at first. He had to get to know me, and so I don't take it for granted that I have a title, I have a position. I don't throw that around. I don't. I throw around the Sam Bean experience. And so you fool around and get hit with that, then everything else will fall in place. You don't have to worry about anything outside of it. I'm gonna do my part, which is make sure you have an opportunity to fall in love with me. And if you don't, you're a hater. I'm just kidding. If you don't, again, teachers on, I might not be your cup of tea. So, but it's just one of those things. I put myself in an unhateable position, you know, and so I really like to give everybody an opportunity, you know, to kind of get to know what my heart feels like and looks like, get to kind of see my vision of how I really want to help people and put people in a position where they never have to worry about money again as long as they live. That's not, you know, just my mantra. That's what the goal is. That's what the vision is. So when Carly talked about the edification, you know, there are some things that everybody can do. Okay. And edification is something that it doesn't take a skill set. You develop a skill set by doing it over and over again. It just takes humility. It takes understanding. The bigger your edification, the bigger your empire. Right. And so you might want to write that down. The bigger your edification, the bigger your empire. Right. Because what you edify and who you edify, right, are going to be the things that build you up. If you edify the collaboration platform, Collaboration Nation, you edify, you know, the Millionaire Mentorship calls, you edify the Saturday morning calls. Those are not people, those are things. But if you edify those things, they'll help you build your empire. Right or right. All right. If you edify human beings, you edify the people who are doing the trainings. Imagine that you do so much and you serve so much that you have so much a great impact and you edify so hard that everybody who trains or presents, you know, they know you and they even introduce people to you in third person in their presentations or in third person in their conversations or in third person in their trainings. Now you're getting help from the sideline based on, you know, what you did on the main line, on the front line, right? So it's a lot of you guys get caught. Like if you see Angel, the servitude that Angel gets, like 75% of the people who had a reflection, part of it started off with Angel. Service. Service to many leads to greatness, right? And so she's edifying the platform, and the platform is now edifying her. See, her contributions to the platform is edification. A lot of you have 24 hours in a day, and some of you will not volunteer, and that's fine. You don't have to volunteer, but you also don't have to reap the benefits that come with volunteering. That's the thing. Remember, you get to do what you want to do as an independent business owner. And it's not right or wrong. It's right or wrong based on what your goals are. It's not right or wrong based on an emotion that somebody might have toward it. So when you don't edify, don't think about, well, man, I don't want Mr. Bean look down on me or Mrs. Bean look down. We're not looking down our nose at anybody. You're grown. You're adult. You have your life to live. We're never ever going to tell you how to live it. We're going to make suggestions on what you should do to be successful, and you take those suggestions and you do with them as you please. All right. But it will play out. It will play out. It will show up in the positive or the negative at some point in time. So again, you can't we can talk 3 years on edification on from a whole nother level and how this works in your business. But with what JC Rangel did yesterday, he unlocked some things because if it's by show of hands on video, or in chat, if you didn't know how to explain the first part of the compensation plan when it came to the code of bonus, raise your hand. So we never talked about it, right? People like, man, why you never talked about the code of bonus? Because I don't understand it. I just know I got a lot of $15, $20, $10, a lot of stuff coming in every month, on day by day, month by month. I got a lot of residual stuff hit. I don't know how to explain it, but I just know I do enough work to make sure I see it, right? And so I do focus on the residuals because the residuals I can explain. The dual team I can explain, right? Blueprinting an income, toward $250,000 a month, I can explain, right? Everything else I can't. Well, yesterday he lit the powder keg for me because in all of my last companies, I've always had the ability to blueprint income on all levels. Okay, residual and recruiting. And so now on the residual side, the membership side, obviously we can blueprint income 24 days, 7 days a week. It's as simple as that. You know exactly how many bodies you need in the actual system. Right. So when you look at what happened yesterday, this is why you really got to go back and watch yesterday's training by your president of Bill Network, Mr. JC Rangel. He talked about one part, and I'm gonna talk about this part. And we talked about a lot of parts, but this is one part I'm going to sit down on because all roads lead to Builder 500. Right? I've been telling y'all this from day one. I've been preaching this to y'all from day one. If you're here to build and you want to build a huge empire economically, and you want to put yourself in a position where you never have to worry about money again, or you need capital to go and invest, or you need capital to save your business, you need capital to crowdfund and some venture that you got visions of grandeur for. This is what you want to focus on. They kind of give you when you look at the industry of network sales and network marketing, that's a huge industry. You got a lot of people hurting in that industry right now. You got millions of people right now who are making no money in network marketing right now. 80% of the people at the top of these companies are right now changing companies, and they're going from one bad company to another, following one bad leader to another, right? And so, and then you got people who are staying in places and they're losing people and losing money every day. And these are good. Some of these people are really good people. They're just horrible leaders. If you are in a position where you're not making money on you, and it's for a fact it's not your fault. You're losing money and it's not your fault. It's the company's fault. And there's nothing that you can do about it, but you've done everything that you're supposed to, and now everybody in the company is leaving out of your group, and you haven't left because you made an income to $20,000, $30,000 a month, $10,000, $15,000 a month, and you don't want to leave because you don't want to lose your income. You're a horrible leader. That means that you need to now pick up, because the person who leaves first is the leader. If you got people who are leaving your groups, you're going to see them leave and go to other companies, then they're going to out earn you, because one day while you're going backwards and regressing, they're finding somewhere where the money is at and they're progressing. And they'll probably reach back and start pulling people from your team to make sure your income goes down even faster. It plunges. And so now you have to now go leave that place and find a place to build. And a lot of times, because of your ego, you won't go to the same place that the person who left your group went to, because of ego. So now you're about to make a bad decision all over again. This is the place that people are about to start coming to. This is the place that people are going to see a ton of opportunity, a whole lot of legitimacy, and they're going to start flocking here. When we were in coffee, we talked about how big it was to diversify. We lost a ton of people, really good people, because the company wouldn't diversify, right? Because we were making so much money as a company, they thought that was just going to keep on going and we were never going to lose anybody. So some of you think in your group, just like that company, some of you think you make so much money, I'm not, I don't need to diversify. I don't need to do anything different, right? Well, you need to add another skill set. You need to add another leg of business or 2 or 3. It's a lot that you need to do. Okay, evolution has to take place. So when you look at companies like the IMLs of the world, these companies took off, and they took off based on trading and trading uh, uh, um, signals and trading education, right? And so that was the thing. And so now you saw that company is under attack, closing down, people being fined right now based on how they did business. Okay. Well, guess what? There's another company I've ever heard, a company called GFU. Okay. All the people from IML basically went from IML to GFU because they had products and trading. Well, most of them are not selling products, they're trading still. They're still using signals, they're still using education as a thing. And guess what? They're falling under the same challenges that IML fell under. So now they're now about to be attacked, and now they're about to jump ship. Okay. So when you look at, and I'm saying all this to say this, if you know anybody in any trading companies and any Forex education companies and any companies that send signals out to anybody, and then somebody takes those signals and apply them, if you know anybody in the trading business that's independent, that does this, or has their own affiliate programs, you need to be contacting those people right away and just let them know you have something real big in that space that's about to launch. You can't give them full details on it right now, but just know this: it's the only software and it's the only app in the United States of America and globally that has the NFA certification. It has the CTFC certification. It has the um, CTA certification. And guess what? When you have those certifications and trade in the trading space and the forex education space, you're the guy, you're the gal, you're the goat, you're the company. And guess what? The person who we partner with is it's almost like a nephew to Wences Navarro. Basically, um, this guy has sat down with every one of those companies. They've all wanted to buy that technology. They all wanted to partner with the guy who owned the technology, but he just didn't like the chemistry. He didn't like the people. He didn't like the environment. He didn't like the shadiness that he saw in some situations, the slick talking in some situations, the non-commitment in some situations, the something for nothing in some situations. He didn't see the honor in edification in the company. But when he talked to us, he sat down and he obviously knew Mr. Navarro from the past. He helped him out with some other apps and stuff like that. He and backed him on some projects financially, and so now it's come back to pay him as owner of the company. Now that person he invested money in years ago on multiple different apps, and he's now met all of the leadership team. He's already known JC and Mr. Pacheco, but he is now launching his app and his software in our company. So we will have Forex education, but we will also have the ability to have an app. And you guys know in North America, you have to do KYC and claim another country and all this other stuff. You don't have to do any of that now. because this is the first and only app and software that has 100% of all the certifications out there that they need. So we don't have to worry about closing our doors like these other companies that are there closing their doors. Right? We are going to be in a space here and internationally where it's going to be a really big deal. Right? And so you're going to have a great influx. And this is where you better pay attention, because that influx is either going to come in your group or it's going to come in the company. And you're going to either be experiencing it or you're going to be watching it. And it's not enough for you to be just in the company when it happens. You have to be a part of the reason that it happens, right? You don't you don't want to sit down. Most of you guys are not built like this. This will hurt some people. You don't want to just sit there and not participate and watch this great influx come in, and you watch it and people blow up and they start making 100 grand a month overnight in 6 months or 12 months, and you're sitting here in the same company and you didn't take action. Okay. You don't want to be that guy, that gal. That's Some people never recover from that. All right. And so get ready, because I'm telling you here, I can't give you guys as much as I want to. I can't give you guys everything about that, but that's huge. The other thing that's huge is that we have some things when it comes to our pay in and pay out systems when it comes to um, being able to do transactions in crypto, fiat currency, and even get this, in some countries outside the U.S., some other people outside the U.S. are going to be able to apply for American bank accounts, which is going to be very, very big. I'm telling you, things are changing in the fintech space, and we're right here in front of it. Okay, but I'm telling you all this because the internet boxes is coming. That's within a week. Okay, that's fantastic. Now you got people who are extremely excited about that. Um, and then you have the travel. All of that's launching, right away, because they were just waiting on the the final pieces of the puzzle for the internet boxes, the Zeta boxes, and then the pay in and pay out systems. Now that the internet and the international merging systems are in place, everything is about to launch. And when that happens, you know what else launches? The 499 pack. That 499 pack. And they're going to give you everything that you, like I said, all the big money, all the big things, the merchant account stuff that we're talking about. All this stuff is going to be a part of the 499 pack. Everything is going to be that they're going to put in there is going to be extremely valuable. And I'm just going to tell you, this is the first suggestion I got for you. As soon as it happens, upgrade. Pay the $300, invest $300 right away. Don't question it. Just don't question it, because when you start questioning it, what happens is you now start to come up with every reason why $300 is not enough for you to invest in your business. And that's you're talking yourself out of wealth creation at that point. And just be happy that it's only $300. It's a blessing. Trust me, because when they launch that package and people start coming in, and you have these names, and these names are on your list. As you can see here, you got your Fast 20. So you've been through all this other stuff that's on the other side. When you start putting these people in, these new people in, after you've already gotten your four, and you start to build your way toward Builder 500, if you haven't hit it already, that's when the magic starts to happen, because if that 499 package is going to pay you a ton of money. I'm not going to go through those numbers. JC's done a great job of doing that yesterday. We don't have time for that anyway. But what I do have time for is this, because when I say the road to everything is Builder 500, it is. When you look at this breakdown, those 20 names, right, on a 499 pack, those 20 names all mean something. Okay, when you look at a person who, when I heard him say this, it messed me up, based on how much money you make per person. Okay, when you at a certain rank and you have brand new people coming in, right? While you're helping a person, and I don't want you to think it's just Builder 500. Is what Builder 500 represents 20 people. So the math was on the 20 people, not necessarily the rank. It doesn't trigger at the rank. Okay, I want to make sure you guys know that. We just use Builder 500 because it's a landmark. It's a spot that has a fixed number in it. So, but if you're a Builder 500, guys, Builder 500, and you sponsor somebody, and you help them, let's just say in this example, go build a 500 in 30 days. Based on those 20 people coming in, you're probably making anywhere from, you might making about $50 per person, basically. Okay. And so you make $1,000. So as a builder 500, every time you help somebody go build a 500, it's $1,000 just on that one part of the compensation plan. We're not even talking about the dual team part. No, that's 20 people that just hit one side of your business. Remember, that's just two. You see, that's why I got this the slide up. So it's not just 20. Just say you got that person in the top left, ran them to build a 500, right? While you're a builder 500, you got your 20, but now that person on the top left, they went put 20 in on a brand new person in and went 20, $50 a person, boom. That's $1,000 extra that month with 20 brand new people on one side of your business. Now you turn around and do, the other side. Guess what? That makes you a builder 1,000. All right. So now you got a builder 1,000, and you got 20 brand new people that came in, pretty much hit builder 500, right? From that new person on that side. Now guess what? That's $1,500. So now for every builder 500 you break now at this point, till you take the next step, is $1,500 because you're builder 1,000 now. All right. And so you go back on the other side, you're working both sides already, but let's just say you find somebody on the other side and now they crank it out. And like I said, build a 500. That's another $1,500. But you got another one, build a 500. Now you're build a 2,000. Okay. And so this one, because it came and you were build a 2,000 and you help somebody go Sapphire, I go help somebody go build a 500. Somebody go build a 500. It's $2,000 every time you help somebody go build a 500. These people are literally, think about it for a second, they're going to pay you another $2,000 just for helping somebody go build a 500, just for helping somebody put 20 people in the business. All right. Ain't that a beautiful thing? So now you get a chance to do some really good math. Say you build a 4,000. Every time you put somebody in and they go, build a 500, or they put 20 people in their system. All right, they could put 20 people down in one leg. They can have one person just go bananas and boom, and that because it's a new person, they just go run 20 down there. Now there's still 20. They not build a 500, but that's still $2,500. Think about a person who has a mortgage that's $2,500, and they're a builder 4,000. Every month they can help somebody put 20 people in business, and they can make their mortgage. They don't have to find 20 on their own. They go find 3 to 5 people every month and help those 3 to 5 people. Once somebody who's serious about business put 20 people in business, that's your mortgage. And then all the other money, all your binary money, all that stuff there, you keep that. All your other residual income, you keep that. I'm just saying, it's just we're talking about one pocket of business. We're talking about just pure numbers. Right? Builder 8,000. Right? If you build 8,000, every time you help somebody you bring a person in and then you help them put 20 people in, to help them go build a 500 because that's the goal, right? That's $3,000. So this is the type of stuff that when we were making our run, when we had over 100,000 people active in our group at one time, we were putting 33 people into our business a day at our peak globally. We were doing presentations every day, but people had a goal. Say, hey, look, I had this ring called Sapphire. Y'all heard me say it. I'd said it on accident a couple of times. It's in my brain because that's when I blueprint money. That was always my foundation. But every Sapphire you had was worth $1,000 to you a month. So now you said, you know what? Let me go and start building Sapphire. Let me start becoming a Sapphire factory. Let me start, you're putting people in a position where now, even when I rank up, boom, now every sapphire is worth $2,000 a month. If I put it on this side of my business, 1,000 if I put it over here, 2,000 if I put it over here. So now you're starting to figure out the landscape of your business and what you need and where you need it at. And but still in this situation, based on how this is, you don't even have to worry about the binary or the dual team. It can all be on one leg, from a standpoint, as long as you're building your rank up, the people who you can still have a lot of that volume on one side. And it still works because it's about numbers. You can have a runaway leg going bananas, and you basically qualify for build a 500, build a 1,000, build it, whatever it is. But that other one can from here to Hades, you can build it. You're making these coded bonuses. I'm telling you, you can get to $100,000 a month almost. You'll see that. You can get to a 200,000, 250. You can get there. You can get there faster than you can get there getting it on the dual team with the 20,000. So those are the numbers that when you look at these network marketers and these builders who are out there, those are the type of numbers they're going to want to see. Those are the type of numbers they're going to want to talk about. They don't want to talk about anything else except for a 499 pack. And if you're not at the 499 pack, you can't even have a conversation with them because it's your biggest pack. It's a 3-figure decision. They're not even listening to you. Matter of fact, you'll be the type of person who they will now call the company and say, "Hey, I want to go direct to the company because I can't have somebody, leading me, that and who's responsible for recruiting me, to be somebody who can't help me and I can benefit from." So that's how you see people. You go to an event one day, you see them at an event, and you was the one invited them there, but the company signed them up, or somebody at the top of the company signed them up. That's how that normally happens because they don't see themselves joining you. That's a bad business decision for them. Okay, you got to make it a good business decision for everybody you talk to. It literally you have to, and this is the thing about humility versus ego. You have to learn how to say, "It's a good thing you're working with me," because you could be working with anybody else, so you don't want that. You got to learn how to say that without saying that. Yeah, you got to be able. You got to learn how to say it. You will really be blowing the bag if you didn't sign up with me in this situation based on who we are and where we're going. You got to be able to say that without saying that. That posture, that not ego, two totally different things. That posture has to say, "Yeah, I really don't need you because of what we're doing with this book of business that I have over here. I just showed you my resume, and I showed you where we're going. I just put you on the phone with the CEO. I just put you on the phone with the VP of sales. I just put you on the phone with the president. I just put you on the phone with, my leader. If you can't, what are you uncertain about? I don't understand. You appear to be a very intelligent individual. What are you uncertain about? What's not mathing? Have these when you got these, when you can draw this thing out and blueprint this thing out, and this is your presentation, ladies and gentlemen. I I did more presentations like this and sign people up without even doing. Sometimes I had people sign up, didn't even know what the heck we were selling because they saw the numbers. They just need to see the numbers and how this thing works out and how we can work them through their challenges in their situation. Think about it. A person who, the other thing, one question a person's going to always ask you, how do I make my money back? It's $500. Well, sign up 5 people on the $500 pack and you make your $100 back. You make your $500 back. And by the way, when you do that, you no longer have a $99 a month either because you got your 4, you're not paying anymore. And you made $500 back because you got $100 per person when you sign them up. And now you're working in the black totally. All right. Everything is profit going forward. So now I just need you to duplicate what you just did. Okay. And help some other people come on board and help them get their 5. And so now these are your numbers. 4 paying no more, 5, 5 to get you to make sure you break even, your break even point. Okay. Um, but those, I'm just saying, go back because I want to make sure I get ready for this 12 o'clock call. I'm real passionate about this part of the compensation plan. But when you marry those two together, the coded compensation plan, and I want y'all to get this, wrap your mind around this. The coded compensation plan is actually going to be the reason why you have a strong dual team, a strong binary, because it's going to drive people into the system, right? If you have people on both sides of your business that are actually building, right? And that they're actually growing it. They're actually in the trenches presenting, doing one-on-ones, two-on-twos, three-ways, lifelines, all this good stuff. They got people plugging in, and their groups are growing based on that coded bonus and what they see, how they get their money back, how they get the $99 to go away, but how they can now start jumping at like really hitting the really big money. It's going to fill up your dual team. So now your rank advancement becomes a lot faster. It's not as painful, right? And so now you won't have to worry about what a new volume's coming from because you're creating it and people are creating it on their own, even without you, because, you know, they see the value. It's like the months of people being 1 and 2 people away from building 500. That's about to go away. Those things are about to change. We won't have a lot of that. You have people stand up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning making follow-up calls, trying to get people in because they understand the value and how much money they're leaving on the table, how much damage they're doing. All right. And then lastly here, because I did say, that did want Carla to bring up the reels. Going back to the reels, guys, let's see here. Yep. When you're doing reels, one of the most effective ways to do reels is this. This is crazy because I paid somebody to help me with some reels. And they gave me a package. I think it was like three or $400 for 20 videos, 20 reels. You come in, and basically they just gave me a lot of questions. They gave me some questions. A lot of them, I even had to make up most of my questions because a lot of the questions they had were so generic. They were from somebody else. So they ask you a lot of questions, and then you answer the questions, and then the question that you answer becomes the reel, right? And so they'll ask you, so why solar? Okay, well, solar because, and then when you answer the question, you basically you're creating your reel. Why Rain H2O? Why alkaline water? Why build network? And so what makes your compensation plan different than other compensation plan? And so now you're answering these questions that you're being asked or that you're asking yourself, and then the person who's videoing it, now they're gonna video you answering all the questions, and then you send it to somebody, have them cut it up, have them create the video, create the reel, create the thumbnail, sketch, have them insert, the icons and things that pop and the buttons that they need to click. But it all starts with your questions. Okay. Remember, I always tell you guys, you'll end up in life in direct proportion to the quality of the questions that you ask other people and ask yourself. Okay. So if you have high quality questions that you're asking yourself on video and you turn those into reels, you're going to have high quality traction. You have high quality people who are coming in asking or looking for you in your inbox that are, that are intrigued by, your reels, and you've answered some questions in your reels, and now they need more questions answered, or they need the next step, or now they need an opportunity, so when you're doing your reels, guys, so like right now I'm doing, reels on the first reels. You saw a lot of them were around solar. A lot of them were around build. A lot of them were around, theory and philosophy, but a lot of them were around solar, right? And so now another batch is coming out. Different things that we did videos on. The next batch I'm going into the studio to do is going to be around collaboration. Be around a lot of the partnering right now. Be around some of the things. So all the new stuff that we got coming out right now. I'm gonna start asking my questions as I get more and more details about the internet. Ask myself, you'll see internet reels, the internet box reels. The more and more information I get about the trading software and Forex education, but mostly the trading software, you're going to see more and more reels about, you'll see reels about that. So the things that travel, you'll see reels about the travel, but you're definitely going to see reels about collaboration. Like, so what is collaboration as it pertains to well, when it comes to collaboration with us, and I answer the question. So why would a person choose Bill if they're just looking for a career, or well, a person would choose Bill if they're looking for a career? It could be part time, full time, but a person can come here and make a 6-figure annual income on a very, very part time basis without recruiting, right? And they don't have to leave the company that they're working with or the career that they already have in place. That's a real. So it just I want to make sure you guys get creative in your thoughts because everybody's questions are always different. So when you turn your questions into a reel, you're basically empowering everybody else that's around you. Okay. So we see your reels enhances questions for your audience, but it also gives us ideas and answer questions for us as well. So and don't be afraid to use other people's reels. Like if you're on the same team, hey, look, Angel just did this reel, or hey, a person, Laura Johnson just did this reel. You know, you guys are in the same background. Both of you guys are retired, but check out a reel she just did on her vacation club, on her smart money club. Hey, check out the reel that, you know, and so that Freddie just did on about door knocking, about merchant account sales. Check out the reel that Dale just did on launching a whole entire water division over in Louisiana. Check out the reel that, and so use each other's reels. Check out the reel that Sabrina did about partnering with real estate agents and brokers, right? And so that you guys just use everybody else's reels, tag people into the reels, and I'm gonna tell you, comment on people's reels, guys. And when you see the reels pop out, not just mine, but please comment on reels because if they have really good substance, guys, and they really do make a point of something, they really do drive value, um, give it more and more power. So just put facts, but put emojis. Emoji. It don't take but a second to just drop an emoji on it. You know, give some feedback on it, or say great topic of discussion. I did that on seven posts yesterday for different people in different companies, and two people hit me back and said, "Man, I've been meaning to hit you up, and we need to have a conversation. We need to have lunch, whatever it is." And these are people that I can actually partner with. We got conversations pending now based on me just jumping on their stuff and comment on it. But do that intentionally and purposefully for the people who are in your groups and people who are in the company. All right. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to turn you over to your weekends. Like I said, today is Saturday. I will be presenting at 12 o'clock. Um, yep, in less than an hour. So if you guys want to jump on, see some of the new slides, some of the new updates, definitely look forward to serving you guys today. So, thank you, Carly, again for an amazing session today. You did your job, serve the platform, and we're just looking for the next, server, looking for the next servant leader, and looking for the next superstar, the next recruiter, next top retailer. We're looking for you guys. And so we're here to encourage you and make sure you get to where you're going. So see you guys at the top at the bank. And because of Aventi, we'll see you guys on the beaches of the world. Bye-bye for now.